couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day in New York. Midsummer gorgeousness in Bryant Park and here at Citi Field as well. The Mets have had the San Diego Padres on the run for the last couple of days. And Terry Collins and the Mets will have R.A. Dickey on the mound tonight trying to keep the good times rolling. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the San Diego Padres. Mets baseball is presented in HD by IOTV. Get the best in HD free with IOTV. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. I'm Gary Cohen. Keith Hernandez joins me in just a moment as the Mets play Game 3 of their 4-game series against the San Diego Padres. You know, since Carlos Beltran was traded 2 weeks ago, Lucas Duda has taken on a more prominent role with the Mets, and since Daniel Murphy went down, even more so. And we've been seeing more and more of what Lucas can contribute to the Mets' cause. Monday night, nothing less than the game-winning hit in the bottom of the ninth inning as the Mets rallied for a 9-8 win. And then as the Mets rallied in the 8th inning last night, Duda showed off another part of his game at his own request. He laid down a sacrifice bunt that eventually led to a 3-run 8th inning and another Mets victory, this time 5-4, as the Mets came from multiple runs down in the 8th inning or later 2 days in a row for the first time in 46 years, and Duda had a big hand in that. And he's going to get to play virtually every day for the rest of the way, and we'll see more of what the dude abides.
Well, he's a big, strong kid, and he's hit with power in the minor leagues. He hasn't done it up here yet, but I don't really take much stock into that. He's hitting .280. That's a very positive thing in the 60 games he's been here. The 3 home runs. What I like, the one statistic that comes out and grabs me, Gary, is in his 157 at-bats, he's only struck out 25 times. He has a good eye at the plate, good patience. He's a good 2-strike hitter, and he's done all this playing their various positions. He's played left field, he's played right field, now he's playing first base. That makes it tough for a young player. He's really held up well and gotten some big hits of late.
Now, while Duda tries to put up some good numbers, R.A. Dickey has pitched much better than his numbers this year. 5-10 on the year, but he's no 5-and-dimer.
Well, he's got a 2-game losing streak right now. He's 5-10 on the year. In his last start, he lost to Atlanta. He pitched 7 strong innings, gave up 2 runs, and a 4-1 Mets loss. He's never pitched against the Padres in his career, so this is new waters, charting new waters for him right here, but he's looking to get back on the winning side and break this 2-game losing streak.
And on the other side for the Padres, the veteran right-hander Aaron Harang, who's 10-3 on the season.
Well, Harang originally started out with Texas, was over in Oakland, got traded to Cincinnati where he won 16 games twice, having a really good year this year, 10-3, 5-0 on the road, and his numbers against the Mets a lifetime are only 2-3 with a 6.11 earned run average in 6 career starts against the Mets. So the Mets have been tough on him.
And they've beaten him up the last 3 times they've faced him, beaten him all 3 times. Lots of sunshine in New York today. Mets hoping the sun shines on them again. All the action coming up tonight on SNY. brought to you by IOTV. Get the best in HD free with IOTV. By Parts Authority, the only name in auto parts you'll ever need to know. Visit them at partsauthority.com and become a VIP member today. By AT&T, rethink possible. By your Tri-State Ford dealers. By Rums of Puerto Rico. Just think Puerto Rican rum, aged by law for true excellence. To find out why Puerto Rico does it better, visit rumcapital.com. And get to Subway restaurants for the mouth-watering sweet and smoky barbecue pulled pork sub on freshly baked bread. Subway, eat fresh. Follow the Mets with the MLB.com @Bat11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Check in using @Bat at Citi Field to receive special offers. Text @Bat to 31826 or visit Mets.com for details. Here's your Dunkin' Donuts around the majors this afternoon. The Pirates beat the Giants 2 out of 3. Steve Karstens bounced back for a victory, 9-2 Pittsburgh win. The Phillies were down 6-0 early against the Dodgers. Hunter Pence at a home run, Ryan Howard a 2-run homer, and they beat the Dodgers 9-8. And tonight the Braves are in Florida. Dan Uggla with a 30-game hitting streak as he takes on Anibal Sanchez and the Marlins tonight, trying to keep that going. R.A. Dickey's been pitching very well, not getting a whole lot of support this year. Hopes to get some tonight as the Mets looking to conquer the world, take on the Padres. First pitch coming up. Hitting cleanup for the Padres has been very impressive in this series. The rookie first baseman, 25 RBIs since the All-Star break. The Padres continued to hit last night. They had 12 more hits. They've scored 47 runs in their last 5 games, but the Mets have beaten their bullpen the last 2 nights. R.A. Dickey hoping for offensive help of his own.
Well, you see R.A.'s numbers right there, the walks. Remember, he got off to a bad start with the walks. He's really cleaned that up nicely. The strikeouts, 100 strikeouts, the 15 home runs. There's what's going on here.
Something in the left field corner is concerning the umpires. Jeff Nelson, the crew chief and home plate umpire.
Well, how dare they interrupt my introduction to the starting pitcher?
Glenn Hoffman, the Padres' third base coach, David Wright, all sharing a bit of a smile there. So whatever it is that was concerning them has been taken care of.
And R.A. Dickey can go on taking his warm-up pitches, and Keith can tell you all about the defense.
We can move on. The Lexus Metropolitan defense, and Mr. Baxter just recently called up the native New Yorker here, first career start. How about that? So he's going to have a little bit of the nerves. Nice little pinch hit double 2 nights ago that drove in a run.
Well, Venable leads off. First pitch of the night, a fastball that misses for ball 1. Venable 1 for 5 in the series. Didn't start last night against the left-hander. Back in there tonight, hitting .356 over his last 14 games. And a fastball hit deep to right. Back goes Baxter, chasing back. It's over his head and off the Mo zone and bouncing away. Venable with speed around second. Baxter has trouble picking it up, and Venable stops at third base with a leadoff triple. So on the second pitch thrown by R.A. Dickey, Venable has his 5th triple of the year.
Let's see if it's a fastball. It sure was, right down the pipe. And I guess the word has got around the league, Gary, that Dickey's been trying to sneak fastballs by people. So gear fastball, and that's out of most ballparks, but not in the Mo zone, and he runs very well. Son of Max Venable, former Padre and San Francisco Giant.
Mike Baxter was out in right field taking fly balls earlier today, along with Lucas Duda, trying to get acquainted to the quirkiness of right field here at Citi Field, and he got a lesson right there as that ball took an odd bounce away from him. Jason Bartlett has been on an RBI tear, and he has an RBI opportunity in his first at bat tonight. Infield back at the middle positions, a liner to right, another chance for Baxter. He makes the grab. Here comes Venable. Here comes Baxter's throw to the plate. Not in time, and the Padres grab a quick 1-0 lead. Triple by Venable, sacrifice fly by Bartlett. 4 pitches in. It's 1-0 San Diego.
Well, both both top hitters of the lineup using right field there. 2 hard hit balls off Dickey early, and knuckleball didn't do much. But if you can just stop the bleeding right here and make it 1 run the first, no harm, no foul.
So Bartlett has driven in a run in 7 straight games. 1-0 San Diego. 1 out for Cameron Maybin, who's 5 for 10 in this series. And the former Marlin takes a knuckleball for a strike.
And we mentioned earlier he was a part of that big trade for Cabrera, the Detroit Tiger first baseman.
And of course, Dontrell Willis was in that deal as well.
He was the main man coming over from Detroit, youngster, in the early 20s, and never really panned out in Florida. But now over here having a good year with Padres, and I've never seen him swing the bat better. The first 2 games, he's looked terrific.
Hitting .330 since the All-Star break. Pokes one to the right side, and Turner comes over to get it. And that's the second out. So 2 out and nobody on. And now Jesus Guzman, who has opened a lot of eyes over the last month and a half, took over the first base job with Anthony Rizzo, didn't hit, and was sent to the minors. And the assumption on the part of most people watching the Padres was that Rizzo would be back by now, and Guzman would be shuffled back to the minor leagues. But he has been on fire since he got handed the first base job.
Well, everything he's hitting has been hit hard. He's using all the field. And the knock on him is he's a man without a position.
But in 119 at-bats, he's already driven in 29 runs. He's hitting .345. Slugging percentage almost .600. He tops this one down to David Wright, who makes the play on Guzman to end the inning. Padres cash an early run. Venable with the leadoff triple comes in to score. 1-0 San Diego. Here's your Geico Mets starting lineup tonight. First major league start for Mike Baxter playing right field. Jason Bay carrying an 11-game hitting streak. Angel Pagan has homered in each of the first 2 games of this series. Angel leads off against the big right-hander Aaron Harang, and he takes the first pitch high for ball 1.
And you're right about big. This is a huge man. Always been a big moose out there on the mound. Always liked his stuff. Big hard thrower. Doesn't walk people. Good breaking ball. Just a matter of him staying healthy. He was born in San Diego and resides there, so he's got to be a happy camper.
Signed as a free agent with the Padres after 8 years in Cincinnati. And Pagan takes a cut and misses 1-1.
He's listed at 6'7". There's Jose. But Harang is listed at 6'7", 261 pounds.
Now 33 years old. Playing for his hometown team. Not only grew up in San Diego, but he went to San Diego State. Grounded toward the hole and threw for a base hit for Pagan. Well, nice to see Angel taking one the other way, hitting right past the third baseman Forsythe for a leadoff hit.
Well, that's always a good sign from the left side. Pagan using the other opposite field. He's been pulling off, and there's the fact that Forsythe had to play in at third base and for the potential drag bunt. And there's a base hit for you right there.
Here's Justin Turner, 3 for 8 in this series, up to 272 for the year.
Well, I liked Justin's comments in the paper this morning. Did everybody think we were going to lay down and die because we lost Murphy and Reyes? I kind of like that comment. And obviously they haven't.
Well, they haven't laid down and died for any of the things that have transpired this year. I mean, they certainly didn't when Davis and Wright got hurt within a week of each other. It was a strike to Turner, 0-1.
Harang has always been right over the top. Big curveball, little cutter, but straight. And he can get high with his fastball. He needs to keep the ball down.
Well, he's pitching in the perfect ballpark in San Diego, and here tonight. Guy who gets the ball up, a pitch out, but Pagan's not going anywhere. 1-1.
And by the way, we'll take a look at the motion here. Pretty straight up, not a lot of drive off that back leg at all.
Started out his career in Oakland before his 8 years in Cincinnati. 91 wins, 90 losses in Harang's major league career.
5-0 on the road this year.
Pagan with 22 stolen bases, tied for 8th in the league.
The Braves don't want to lose either. They jumped out 2-0 in the first inning. They're still hitting.
And Harang spending a lot of effort keeping Pagan close.
Well, you have to. Pagan is a serious threat to steal.
And Harang, a guy who does not control the running game all that well. He's given up 18 stolen bases this year. So he's got to throw over a lot. There goes Pagan. The throw by Martinez into the runner, and Pagan steals the base. 23rd of the year for Angel Pagan.
Well, Harang is saying, what do I need to do? There's a little cutter. Good pitch to throw for Martinez. And into the line, into the runner. Not a good throw. As a catcher, you really want to make sure that you throw over the top, have a true throw. One of the only catchers I remember that really threw sidearm was Thurman Munson, Gary, if you remember. He threw a sinker over to second base.
Well, Pagan's now been successful 14 straight stolen base attempts, and now Harang falls behind Turner 3-1. By the way, Dan Uggla, first time up, 2-run single, first inning, 31-game hitting streak for Atlanta.
And guess what? That makes him very dangerous the rest of the game. It takes the pressure off for that day. I believe that tied the record for the franchise.
Yep, Rico Carty, 31 games. So 3-1 to Turner with David Wright on deck, and the Mets looking to strike back quickly after the Padres got a run on the top of the inning.
I believe Carty did that ball 4 right there. I think Rico Carty had that 31-game hitting streak in 1970.
So the Mets have the first two men on against Harang, and now David Wright. David had a base hit his last time up last night in the Mets' big 3-run 8th inning. And he's now just 2 total bases shy of the Mets' all-time record for total bases held by Ed Kranepool.
And we'll take a look at the Coors Light Padre defense. And Guzman, okay, he's made 1 error in 24 games, but he's not really known for his glove at any position.
Started out as a third baseman in the Oakland organization. We've seen him box around a couple of balls in this series. First and second, nobody out for Wright. And David has always gotten a very good look at Aaron Harang. He is 8 for 12 with a home run against Harang. As you look at that total base number, just 2 total bases shy of the club record. Already has the doubles record, and he's going to have most of those other marks as well before he's done.
In defensive,
working away 1-1.
Excuse me, Gary. And in defensive, Ed Kranepool. Ed's a good man, good friend. Ed told me one time, Keith, I'll always have all those offensive Shea records.
Yes, he will. Because nobody's getting another hit at Shea. Unless you stand in the parking lot and play wiffle ball. Harang keeping everything outside to David, 1-2.
Pretty good little slider here.
That's a beat up on Harang the last 3 times they faced him. He hasn't beaten the Mets since 2007, and Wright is a big reason why with that 8 for 12 mark.
David standing a little more crouched, we notice, in the legs, not the upper body.
Going to chase that slider, 2-2.
And a little closer to the plate. Since coming off the disabled list.
Hitting .366 since coming off the DL, and it's probably the orange shoelaces.
Halloween.
Fouls off the fastball. Lucas Duda getting cleanup these days, waiting on deck. I thought it was interesting, the story told that Terry Collins told after the game of Duda coming to him and saying, do you want me to bunt? And Terry saying, can you? And Lucas saying, yeah, I can. Here's the 2-2, and David bounces one down to third. Forsythe left the ball behind, gets the force and no more. In his haste to get to the bag, he dropped the ball, and that cost him the double play.
Well, he didn't have to rush it, but that happens. He had the right idea.
So that's the first out. So Turner now at second, Wright at first with one away, and Duda coming up. Lucas 5 for 8 in this series. A couple of RBIs that won the game on Monday. The sacrifice bunt that helped fuel the rally last night. And now hitting at .280 for the year.
He's going after that first pitch. Good fastball by Harang. And I've mentioned that Duda been going the other way, using all the field. The balls that he's been pulling has been the breaking pitch and the off-speed stuff. But this young man gets a chance to play. He's going to learn how to pull, and he's going to put a hurt on a lot of pitchers. Very, very strong.
Is it that just more a matter of identifying the pitches you can pull?
I just think that he's right now feeling his way, Gare. You're never really totally comfortable when you're trying to establish yourself, unless you get off to a great start.
Duda pulls one, foul. Now, Lucas certainly did the opposite of getting off to a great start last year. It started out 1 for 31, and then he didn't get off to a good start this year.
Yes, it's just so typical. I mean, when I was young and wasn't sure I belonged, I got off to bad starts. I couldn't get out of my own way in April. But he's persevered.
And he's getting a chance to play every day now, so that certainly enables his talent to rise to the surface as well. Playing more, gaining more confidence. Strike 3 called. Harang gets him looking at the fastball, and that's the second out.
Well, good fastball right there. Harang. Duda should go back in the dugout and say, okay, he just came right after me that at bat. And had plenty of plate, too. So predominantly fastball. Harang is a power pitcher.
So 2 out and 2 on, and now a red-hot Jason Bay. Bay has hit in 11 straight games, hitting .439 over those 11 games. And he's got great career numbers against Harang as well. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Bay against Harang, 17 for 46. That's a .370 average with 5 home runs. Jason has a couple of home runs on this homestand. And he pops this one up. And Guzman, the first baseman, making the call and the catch to end the inning. So the Mets get the first 2-man on, can't convert against Harang. 1-0 San Diego after 1.
I know you're a little self-conscious when you say that, Gary. You've mentioned it to me, but I want you to know that you've got my approval. I think you do a great job.
Yeah, zoom is a hard word to say without, sounding a little, I don't know, affected. Kyle Blanks leads off for San Diego in the second inning. Well, the Padres have a huge pitcher in Harang, and they've got a huge left fielder in Blanks, who swings through the knuckleball 1-1. Blanks 4 for 7 in this series. In fact, he has 5 consecutive multiple hit games. Getting a chance to play after coming back from Tommy John surgery that hampered the early part of his year. And Dickey has confused him so far. 1-2. It'll be Blanks, then Logan Forsythe, then Alberto Gonzalez for the Padres in the second. Dickey started his night by throwing 2 straight fastballs to Will Venable, and Venable crushed the second one off the Mozone and right that led to a run. Blanks pops one up along the line. Long run for Baxter, who's been involved early, goes into a slide but beyond his reach. Well, Baxter had each of the first 2 balls hit to him in the first inning and now has to deal with that low fence along the right field line. So he's getting an education on Citi Field right field in a hurry.
Well, you're going to get it, but if you're going to play, you're going to get it. And the right field certainly has a lot of little nuances out there, little nooks and crannies and corners,
like an English muffin. Here's the 2-2. Ripped into left, a base hit for Blanks. So after looking like he was having trouble with the knuckleball early in the at-bat, he gets the base hit on the knuckleball to start the second inning.
This knuckleball stays flat.
So Blanks is on, and here's Logan Forsythe. Played third base in the opening game of this series. Forsythe was hitting .326 at Tucson with 8 home runs before he was called up. Padres without their regular third baseman, Chase Headley, and Forsythe helping to fill in. He was a second baseman in the minor leagues, but because of Headley, he was a third baseman. Because of Headley, they moved to second, but he's gotten his chance to play now as a third baseman. Slow ground ball. Dickey goes to second, and it can't be handled. Blanks heads for third, and he'll arrive there safely. Yeah, Dickey hesitated and would have had a very difficult chance to get Blanks even with a good throw. And now the Padres have runners at first and third.
I believe this is going to be an error on the pitcher. Should be. Tough chance for Turner trying to stay on the base. He made the right play. He had the play at second.
So we'll wait to see who they charge the error to. And they will charge it to Dickey. So runners at the corners with nobody out, and now Alberto Gonzalez the batter. Gonzalez filling in for Orlando Hudson, who tweaked a groin last night and had to come out of the game. And he takes low and inside for ball one.
Now, Gary, would you score that a fielder's choice and an error in the throw?
Right.
On the advance of the runner?
Right.
I got you. Just checking.
There's a fastball for a strike, 1-1 to Gonzalez.
But we're going to do the Coors Light freeze cam, and he did have him.
Other than the fact that Turner wasn't on the bag.
Well, he's adjusting to the throw. He would have been on the bag with a perfect throw.
Right, but I'm saying even if he catches that ball, the runner would have been safe because Turner wasn't on the bag. Nice stop by Tolle, and it's 2-1. Gonzalez hitting at .212, former Yankee, former National. Luis Martinez, the catcher, on deck. A lot of no names on this San Diego team. Of course, their people probably look at the Mets and say the same thing.
Let's just say when we had the first game of the series, I had to do a lot of homework on the Padre players, looking in the press book.
How'd that go?
I hate doing it, but you know, you got to be professional. You got to come prepared.
I mean, when you get homework, are you anticipating a final grade? Because, you know, if you don't hand your homework in on time,
I know,
you get in trouble.
I understand that. I like to do it at home because computers, you got so much going on now. You can get in. Remember, Jay Horowitz gave us that little what do you call that thing? It has all the. We have a little
zip drive.
The zip drive that we can plug into the computer. It has every press book of every team, American and National League and Major League Baseball.
Shallow right, Baxter in, tagging at third, Blanks. He's not going to try to score, and comes in on a hop to Tolle. So Baxter handles that well, and that's the first out.
So nicely done. Baxter has made 2 throws today, and 2 nice throws, and he hit the cutoff man. Now right here, the first runner at first base didn't tag up. He was late tagging up. He's got to try to draw maybe draw the throw, or if the throw's over the first baseman's head, he can advance to second. But Forsythe was not back to the bag fast enough.
So now here's Luis Martinez with first and third and 1 out. Martinez 2 for 3 in this series, making just his 9th start for the Padres. Yet another rookie in the San Diego lineup. So you look at the press books on.
I'd like to find out. There's things I look for, and I like to know the pitchers. I don't like to come here. I'd like to. When I come here, I prepare my scorecard. It's something to do to pass the time. It gets boring up here. We're here during batting practice.
Well, maybe you should get here later then.
Well, no, I can't. It's traffic.
Lined into right center, a base hit. That'll bring home a run. Blanks is in to score. Baxter's throw comes into second. Gets by, backed up by Wright. It's an RBI single for Luis Martinez, and it's 2-0 San Diego.
Well, another ball hit hard into the opposite field off a right-handed bat. And it's knuckleball is not knuckling. We've seen a lot of this now, straight knuckleballs. And that is the proper approach.
You know, when we show the replay of that knuckleball, you can see how many times it's turning. And if that knuckleball turns more than half a rotation, it's usually going to be straight. And that's what's happened to Dickey several times early in this game. So now Harang, first and third and one out. 5 hits, 3 sacrifices this year. So the Padres out to a 2-0 lead. Forsythe now at third and Martinez at first. Dickey in his last start gave up 2 runs in the 3rd inning against the Braves, and that was enough to beat him. Wound up a 4-1 final.
Who pitched against him that day? That
Hudson.
Hudson, that's right. And they had Hudson they had on the ropes early.
Harang gets the bunt down. Coming to the plate is Forsythe, and he's a dead duck. Not a suicide squeeze. He waited till the bunt was down. A safety squeeze. And Dickey able to make the toss to Tolley for the second out.
Well, I got to believe this is just poor base running. Just poor base running by Forsythe. Why would you want to squeeze early, even though it's a pitcher up, when a knuckleball so hard to catch, and Tolley, who leads the league in pass balls, primarily because of Dickey's knuckleball, you'd want a runner on third, don't you think?
I agree. I'm not sure what the call was from the dugout, but that ball was bunted straight back to Dickey, and if it's not a suicide squeeze, I don't know why you would try to score. That's the whole point of the safety squeeze, is that you wait to read the bunt. And apparently he didn't read it very well.
There's almost your pass ball right there.
So now Martinez at second, Harang at first. And Dickey with a chance to get through the inning without any further scoring if he can get through Venable, who drilled a triple into the Mo zone leading off the game.
I don't think he's going to get a fastball this time, Garrett.
Well, the home record for Dickey last year was spectacular. Not so this year. And the very slow knuckler sails outside, 2-1. Barely broke the speed limit. Jason Bartlett on deck. 2-0 San Diego, second inning. 2 out and 2 on. And Venable pulls it foul, 2-2. It's the first time the Padres have ever faced R.A. Dickey. There are 3 guys in the lineup who've seen him before, but not Venable. So his first encounter with Dickey, he got a fastball to hit and he drilled it. Bud Black in his 5th year, San Diego skipper. Great year last year, not so great this year. And Venable pops one up. Coming back is Tolley for a look, but that's in the crowd.
Just a spectacular evening here. Early evening. Beautiful day today.
Temperature right around 80 degrees. Couldn't be more comfortable. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 to Venable. And the knuckleball is fouled back. Another very slow one from Dickey. So he's trying to change speeds, perhaps to compensate for the fact that he hasn't had his best knuckleball early in the game.
Well, that's always part of his game anyway, Garrett, and it was so good with it last year. Was that hard knuckleball. He got so many outs inside corner with that hard knuckleball.
He goes to it here, but he misses with it, and now a full count to Venable. So that'll put the runners in motion. Martinez at second, Harang at first will be on the move. Eighth pitch to Venable, and he lines one into center field for a base hit. That'll bring home Martinez, and it's 3-0 San Diego.
Oh,
and then Pagan trying to throw behind Harang, throws it away, and the runners advance to second and third. Pagan saw Harang, the pitcher, take a turn at second base, so he figured he'd try to throw behind him, but a wild throw allows the runners to advance.
Well, you try and take advantage maybe of a pitcher. I don't fault him for the throw. I really don't. It's just a poor throw. Now, Lucas has got to be prepared. He's the cutoff man. Watch Lucas here. We're going to show the overhead here coming out. Just look more at Lucas coming in for the cutoff. Now, he can see right now. There he is right here in the middle. Now, there goes the throw. He's got to be more in a set position, ready to move one way or the other. So I don't fault Pagan for that throw. He wouldn't have had him anyway. But the throw was obviously way too high.
So 2 runs home in the inning and 2 in scoring position for Jason Bartlett, who delivered a run with a sacrifice fly his first time up. For Angel Pagan, that is his 8th outfield error of the year. And that is an enormous number for an outfielder.
Someone that played such terrific outfield for the Mets last year, particularly when out in left field. And then when he went over to center field when Beltran was down, played a terrific center field. He's really had a tough time out there this year.
Tejada comes in to field the grounder and throws out Bartlett to end the inning. A couple of errors by the Mets in the inning, and it leads to 2 San Diego runs. Tickets are 50% off for the Mets weekday matinee tomorrow afternoon at 12:10 p.m. against the Padres. Get to Mets.com or call 718-507-TIXX for your tickets. Aaron Harang now staked to a 3-0 lead. 2 unearned runs for the Padres in the top of the second. So the Mets, who came from behind each of the last 2 nights, will have to do the same tonight. Mike Baxter, making his first major league start, has already had plenty of excitement out in right field. He's already had a half-dozen balls hit his way. And now he'll get his first at bat of the night. Baxter 1 for 3 since joining the Mets. He had 8 at bats with the Padres last year, but never started a game. And now making his first big league start against his old club. Baxter came to the Mets on waivers from the Padres in late July. He had been out the early part of the year because he was rehabbing a thumb injury that he suffered during spring training. So he had barely played in the minor leagues this season before the Mets picked him up. In fact, he was on rehab down in Single A when the Mets got him. Sent him to Buffalo. He hit pretty well there, 256 in 11 games. And when the Mets put two players on the disabled list Monday, Baxter got the call. I was talking to Mike yesterday about his experience as a Met fan growing up in Whitestone. He said his favorite player growing up, John Oliver.
Well, that's a good choice.
He said he loved the fact that Oliver was such a good left-hand hitter, and he loved the fact that he was so quiet. Just went about his business, acted professionally every moment.
Yes, he did.
Full count to Baxter.
John was quite a hitter and a very, very good defensive first baseman. I think that was often overlooked. He was solid over there.
Well, he was part of that greatest infield ever in 1999. Ball 4, and Baxter draws a leadoff walk. So the Mets get the leadoff man on for the second straight inning. Second walk by Harang. And now Josh Thole will come to bat. Thole starting for the first time since Saturday night. That was the game against the Braves. 3 hits, including a double and a home run.
That was off Tommy Hanson, who did not have it that night. The Mets just loaded up on him.
So Thole's offense has been coming around lately. Tries to keep that going tonight. It's got to be difficult, though, when you're sharing a job like Thole is. You get a little hot streak going. You sit for 3 or 4 days. Can you keep the hot streak going when you go back in?
Particularly when you're young. You're like a young thoroughbred in the, in the barn. No one will let you out of the barn. You want to go run.
Well, he's in the meadow now.
Hear ya.
And Harang again spending a lot of time on the base runner. He did with Pagan in the first inning, and Pagan stole the base. Baxter not quite the stolen base threat that Pagan is. Mike stole as many as 22 bases, though, in a minor league season, so he can run a little bit. And Thole taking all the way, 2-0.
All of a sudden, Harang is way high out of the strike zone. I mentioned his problem is that fastball getting up in the strike zone. He really has to focus on keeping his ball down. And that's why he's always given up a lot of home runs.
And Thole fouls off another fastball. You know, sometimes we refer to a pitcher's outing when he gives up a lot of base runners as a slog.
Yes.
Well, Harang had the ultimate slog in his last start against the Pirates. 5 innings, 13 hits, 3 walks, allowed only 4 runs, and got the win. 16 base runners, 5 innings, and he got the win.
That's a gift.
That's hard to do. Thole rips it deep right field, right down the line. It's hooking. Foul. Well, Thole, who hit his second home run of the year Saturday night, almost had his third.
Nope, that's around 10 yards foul.
The wrong section of the Pepsi porch. Something Josh was looking to do a lot in spring training, and I don't know that it didn't get him a little messed up early in the regular season, but he's doing it now. Pates one the other way and a base hit. Well, Josh barely misses a home run and then does his thing and pokes one to left, and the Mets for the second straight inning get the first 2 men on.
Well, Harang threw the slider. He pulled a foul. Went a good fastball down and away. A little sink to it. Nice hitting by Josh.
So first and second and nobody out when the Mets down 3-0. And here is Ruben Tejada, who drove in the game-winning run last night with a bases-loaded walk in the bottom of the 8th against Josh Spence.
Josh Spence threw, I think, 8 pitches in that at bat and didn't throw one fastball. The last pitch he threw, the 3-2 pitch, was a fastball that was ball 4. We'll take a look at the IoT pitch differential. It's even going to be a better pitch than the catcher put down in his glove. Sometimes you got to tip your hat to the hitter, vice versa.
Tejada 1 for 7 in this series. The RBI last night, his 20th of the year in 175 at bats.
Fastball away, a little tardy.
Ruben playing his 3rd straight game since being recalled because of the injury to Jose Reyes, and getting another chance to show his wares at shortstop, and certainly has looked nothing but smooth and solid playing in the field. Got off to a really nice start when he began to play every day earlier this year, but then tailed off of the plate before the Mets sent him down. R.A. Dickey on deck, and he struggled in Buffalo after he went down there. He was hitting under 200 during that stretch between his last 2 major league stints. He lines this one to center field, and that's a base hit. Baxter to third. He'll be held up there, and the Mets have the bases loaded and nobody out. So Ruben Tejada with another quality at bat, and the Mets with the tying runs on base have a chance to get right back in it. And R.A. Dickey, who's been swinging the bat much better lately, will come to the plate.
Well, the Padres are going to play it back. They should for 2. And I don't know what Jesus Guzman is thinking of playing in. I have no clue. 3-0 lead. Are you kidding me?
Dickey has 6 hits in his last 13 at bats, 1 RBI for the season. And he takes off the plate from Harang for ball 1. So a walk to Baxter and back-to-back hits for Tolle and Tejada. The 7 and 8 hitters have put Harang in jeopardy, and this is the way he's been living these last couple of starts.
Well, it's all his command. It's gotten him in trouble.
He's always been a pitcher who gives up a lot of hits, but he's already walked a pair in the first 2 innings tonight.
He's kind of cut out of the same mold as Joe Blanton. Over the top, power pitchers, both come from Oakland.
Dickey bounces one foul.
He's hanging some sliders up there on a tee. Interesting how in the first inning he was just on tremendous breaking stuff. In the second inning now he is really leaving it out over the plate.
Nobody out in the second, and he's about to throw his 40th pitch of the night. And Dickey lifts one to right, not very deep. Venable under it. Baxter tagging, and Baxter's not going to try. Nice throw by Venable. That's the first out.
Well, nicely done by Venable in right field. High fly ball short, and he backed up so his momentum was coming towards home on the throw.
So now here is Pagan, who homered in each of the first 2 games of the series, and stroked a base hit the other way his first time up tonight. Angel hitting .326 with runners in scoring position this year, and bats here with the bases loaded and 1 out. And a fastball let her high for a strike, 0-1. Mets as a team have gotten better and better this year with the bases loaded. The 2 grand slams, you might remember, came in the same game in consecutive innings in Detroit earlier this year. Before those 2 grand slams in Detroit from Bay and Beltran, the previous grand slam the Mets had hit was 2 years ago by Pagan. A ball and a strike to Angel. And he checks his swing, and he held it in time. Bill Welke with the call, and it's 2-1.
Keep that shoulder in, Angel.
Bud Black saw his vaunted bullpen meltdown the last 2 nights. Right now it's a starter who's in big trouble, despite a 3-0 lead. And Angel takes one the other way, foul.
Chad Qualls has been the culprit for the Padres the last 2 nights. The Mets have really touched him up.
And Heath Bell on Monday night gave it up in the 9th. Josh Spence couldn't throw a strike last night. Let's see what Angel's done with the bases loaded. Outstanding numbers. 2-2 to Pagan. And he takes strike 3 call. Fastball got him for the 2nd out. Second strikeout for Harang, and both have come on fastballs caught looking.
Inside corner. Good pitch. After all those pitches away. Tied him up. I might have had some plate.
Leads to a little frustration. So now Justin Turner, who walked his first time up. Mets have the bases loaded and nobody out. Dickey with a short fly ball. Pagan with a strikeout, so it's left to Turner. And Justin takes a fastball for a strike. That one had a little zip on it.
Sure did.
Mets have already had 6 at-bats with a runner in scoring position in the first 2 innings. 1 for 6.
Something we've been seeing lately is that right fielders have been playing very shallow on Turner.
That late on that fastball, and it's 0-2.
Right by him here. I very seldom see Turner take a swing overmatched swing like that. Very seldom.
So now Harang on the verge of getting out of this jam. Ahead on Turner, 0-2.
There's the right fielder. Look how shallow.
That's Castillo depth.
That's where you play pitchers. I don't think you should play him that shallow. We saw him earlier in this homestand hit one out.
That's to right center.
Over the X and that Xerox sign.
Which one? The first one?
I think it was the first one.
Here's the 0-2. Little tapper to shortstop. And Bartlett makes the play to end the inning. So the Mets have the bases loaded and nobody out, and they do not score. Harang works out of another jam, and it's 3-0 San Diego after 2. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. What do you got, boys? Till 1920, a walk-off home run with men on base was scored as a single, double, or triple. That's true. They only gave you as many bases as you needed to get the winning run home. In other words, if the winning run was at third and you hit it over the fence, you only got credit for a single.
So a lot of guys lost home runs.
Mm-hmm. Twisted, huh?
Does that guy get paid with a hand that comes out and pours that?
I don't know whose hand it is. Cameron Maben leads off in the third inning against R.A. Dickey. Maben bounced out to second base his first time up. Jesus Guzman and Kyle Blanks to follow in the third. And he chases the knuckleball away. A ball and 2 strikes.
Off to a good start with the knuckleball this inning, Dickey. Getting more movement.
And Maben takes strike 3 call. And knuckleball found the inside corner, and that's the first strikeout of the night for R.A.
Well, he didn't think so. Looks like a corner to me. Just totally didn't frame it very good. That was it.
Well, sometimes it's as hard for the home plate umpire to call the knuckleball as it is for the catcher to catch it, or the hit. Here's Guzman, who bounced out to third his first trip. Especially if the catcher is flailing at it. It's hard to frame that pitch the same way you would a fastball.
Well, Toley was set up outside that pitch too, so he had to come across the plate with his glove.
And Guzman takes the knuckler for a strike, and it's 1-2, and Dickey's starting to throw more strikes with it.
Staying flat on that horizontal plane.
Center field. On comes Pagan. Base hit.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Jesus Guzman, who mostly has been hitting balls hard in this series, hits a soft base hit.
Let's go with one hand here. Again, another knuckleball. It's moving away from the right-handers, but it's staying on the same plane. I think Dickey would have much rather have it breaking down, more down.
Although last year, when he threw the hard knuckleball that acted like that, hitters were not as successful.
But he put it inside corner, not out over the plate where they can extend their hands.
So here's Blanks, who singled to left and scored a run in the second inning. And he takes a fastball for a strike.
Very nice crowd tonight. Nice to see.
Well, there's been a lot to get excited about in this ballpark the last couple of nights. And really the entire year. I mean, when you think about this team going back to spring training, you would have figured that if everybody was intact, it was a team that if they finished over 500, that would be a good year. Well, everybody has certainly not been intact.
Right.
And yet here they are, a game over 500. And giving no quarter even after all sorts of difficult things have befallen them. They're still only on the fringes of the wild card race. I think every day that possibility becomes more remote. But I don't even think that's the point at this point. I think Met fans are just happy to have a team that's fun to root for. And they know that the future should be brighter.
I think Met fans like the hustle of this team. You know, obviously they don't quit, but they like the hustle. And again, I think a lot of credit goes to Terry Collins, who I feel had a lot to overcome this starting in spring training. I know I've said it a million times this year, and I feel that it should be repeated. He has done one heck of a job with this team.
Now Dickey behind 3-1, and checks in on Guzman.
You know, and like I've always said, Garrett, you can have a manager out there make every wrong move in the world, and the players that he puts in there do the job, and he looks like a genius. You know, you can make all the right moves, the players don't execute, you know, and you might be called to papers that, you know, you're not making the right moves. Well, you are making the right moves. Terry Collins, to me, is such a good field general. tactician in the course of the game. He is alert. He's always on the ball. Never falls asleep at the switch. And he's just that kind of personality.
Well, here's the way I look at it. There are three major tasks for a manager. There's motivating your players, there's making strategic decisions, and there's dealing with the media. And I don't think that Terry Collins has failed in any one of those. I think he's been extraordinary in all three of those tasks.
Absolutely. Couldn't ask for more.
He's gotten players to play to and beyond their ability. He seems to be making the right moves every night. This one hit out to left field by Forsythe, chasing Bay back over his head and bouncing up against the wall. Guzman comes in to score. Blanks goes to third. An RBI double for Logan Forsythe. And the Padres have stretched their lead to 4-0. And Dickey's night becomes more troublesome by the moment.
Let's watch the knuckleball. It doesn't knuckle. Inner part of the plate. And Bay just can't get to it. Well, Guzman's going to read nicely. See, not jumping around. Very nice. Scores easily. See so many players going back and forth like a ping pong match. And that's not what to do. That was nicely done on his part.
Now the Mets bring the infield in. Second and third and one out. And Alberto Gonzalez takes in the dirt. Blanks now at third. Forsythe at second. For Forsythe, just his seventh run batted in. Gonzalez filling in for the injured Orlando Hudson. Flied to right his first time up. And he flares one into left field. On comes Bay. Gets there to make the catch. Blanks is going to try it. On the fly, not in time. And Blanks scores to make it 5-0. Quite a throw by Jason Bay, but just couldn't get there in time, moving to his left.
Well, he has to come across his body. So if he was a left-hand thrower, it would have been a better chance. But the fact that he's a right-hand thrower, he has to reset, kind of on the run. Tough play, nice throw, but too late.
So the Padres with a run in the first, 2 unearned runs in the second, and they've scored 2 more here in the third to make it a 5-0 game. And now the number 8 hitter, Luis Martinez, who drove in a run with a base hit his first time up. So this no-name group of Padres, the Padres third from the bottom of the National League in runs scored, but lately they have been a much improved offensive team. It's 52 runs now in 5+ games for San Diego. The pitcher Harang, the beneficiary, waiting on deck. And that's hit hard.
Oh.
Nice stop by Duda to end the inning. Lucas Duda with a beautiful snare. Otherwise, Luis Martinez might have had a double and an RBI. Duda going down to get it, but the Padres add a pair and lead it 5-0 in the third. SNY are available in HD, presented by IOTV, and you can listen to every Mets game on Sports Radio 66 WFAN. That is a noon start tomorrow, not a midnight start, but a noon start. That's the 12 o'clock.
I'm very excited about that. You know why?
Why is that?
You guys got to get on an airplane, go on your way to Arizona.
Right.
I am not going on the trip. I have to drive home. So out to LIE, out to Sag Harbor, and the 12:15 game, 10 games will get me ahead of the traffic.
Well, let me ask you this, because we were talking about preparation before. 12:10 start tomorrow. Not 12:15, but 12:10.
Right.
What time will you get to the ballpark?
I will get here probably, honestly.
Well, I don't know. You can be honest or not. That's your choice. As David Wright lifts the first pitch into shallow center field, and Gonzalez makes the call, and that's the first out. Okay, so
I'll get here at 11 because I've seen the teams. I've seen the Padres 3 games. I know what they are. I certainly know what the Mets are. So really the most important game when a new team comes in, start a new series, is the first game. You really got to bone up on the team coming in. And then for me, it takes 1-2 games, and I've seen the visiting team play. I get a good feel for what they're about.
So you will be planning to arrive at 11 tomorrow,
which means I have an hour-and-a-half drive. I'll leave at I'll leave to be safe at 9 o'clock.
Okay, so what happens if there's like an accident on the LIE?
Well, I have plan B and C and D. I'll check the weather report most importantly. You got to be careful too, because you can get the back end of traffic on the LIE people going to work.
Right, of course.
So
it's like
that's
rush,
why I'm
it's
leaving.
Like rush hour.
So 9 gives me 3 hours to get here. I think I'll make it.
Not if you're trying to be here by 11. It doesn't give you 3 hours.
Well, no.
2 hours.
If it's an hour-and-a-half drive here, it's enough. I leave at 9. I get here at 10:30. No, if there's no traffic. So I'm giving myself a little half-hour edge.
I see.
You know, just a little cushion there, just in case.
Okay. Don't speed.
I'm gonna knock on wood. Yeah, what time are you going to get here?
Probably get here around 9:15.
And your drive is 45 minutes, right?
No, about an hour and 15.
So you got a long drive too.
Yeah.
And when
you thought you were all alone in that, huh?
Well, I know Webby has a tough drive. I know Kevin certainly has a murderous drive. What do you do so early?
Kevin's
what are you going to do?
Though, you know Kevin's not here tonight, right?
Oh, right, I understand.
He's on assignment.
Good for him.
Yeah, very good for him. He'll be back Friday when we go to Arizona. Here's a 3-2, and Duda fouls it off.
You know the one good thing about getting here early, particularly a day game, is there's no music in the stadium. You can actually come to the ballpark. The stadium is quiet, folks. None of the music you got to hear. You can actually hear the banter of the players. You can hear the crack of the bat. You can hear coaches instructing. Boy, what a concept.
And Duda down swinging as Harang takes care of him. His third strikeout.
I always love the crack of the bat in BP. Listening to the players laughing and joking.
See, now I always thought you were a big music fan.
I am a big music fan. But what do you do? Let's just focus on you.
Me?
Yes, enough about
I'm
me.
not playing the music.
Right, next half inning.
Bay pops one up, shallow center field. Bartlett out, Maben in, and Maben has it. And Harang has himself a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the third. On to the fourth we go at Citi Field. The Padres with a 5-0 lead. The third inning of tomorrow's game. Just go to SNY.TV, click on the link, and join the conversation. It's Chat Live with Bob Ojeda, presented by Verizon, only on SNY.TV. So now we know what Bobby O will be doing during the game tomorrow. Fourth inning, and Aaron Harang takes it wide for ball one. Harang bunts it into a fielder's choice his first time up. R.A. Dickey down 5 runs as he pitches in the fourth inning. A ball and a strike to Harang with Will Venable and Jason Bartlett to follow. Padres got a run in the first, 2 unearned runs in the second, and tacked on 2 more in the third against Dickey. Bounce slowly, and Dickey will take it himself. 1 unassisted for the first out.
So, Gare, I don't want to belabor a point, but I think the fans are, and I am. What do you do when you get here? You're going to be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow. The game's 3 hours and 10 minutes away. What is your routine?
Well, you know, a day game's a little different. I mean, normally for a night game, I'd get here 3 o'clock.
Okay.
4 hours before the game. Start going through the stats.
So you don't do it at home?
Start filling out the lineup card.
So you want to beat the traffic. You want to have a nice drive to the ballpark.
My drive is long enough that I have no interest in getting caught in traffic and being late. See, no. I would get really
You're
upset.
Indispensable. If you were late.
It's not that. It's not that. It's just that I have a phobia about being late. I tend to get places early.
Okay.
It's just a thing.
Do you make your bed up in the morning?
No. Venable grounds out for the second out.
Now, usually Terry Collins has his meeting with the press at 4:30.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
Yes.
No wonder I missed them.
You're late.
Is that it? That's why I'm never on. Oh, thanks for telling me.
Generally, it's 4:30 on the road, but 4 o'clock at home.
So you attend those?
Yes.
And I've been involved in those. You are very much proactive in them. You ask very good questions.
Occasionally, I'll ask a question. Usually, I let the other media members ask their questions. But if there's some cogent thing that I need clarified, I will participate.
And then you wander into the clubhouse and chat around a little bit.
A little bit of chat into the dugout, because a lot of the pregame routine, listen to the manager's press conference, talk to the players, but it's also media members standing around and talking to each other. A lot of that goes on. And I know you enjoy that banter as well.
I have learned to. I have.
Well, you loved talking to the media even when you were a player, didn't you?
No, I never had a problem with the media. Only a few.
You were a post-game go-to guy.
I am a media member now.
Now you are. Home fourth inning, Mike Baxter leads off against Aaron Harang. Baxter drew a walk his first time up, grounds the first pitch out to shortstop. Jason Bartlett makes the play, and Baxter retired on one pitch. One away. Well, we mentioned Kevin Burkhardt is away on assignment, and so we've got Eamon McEnany ably filling in for Kevin tonight. Hey, Eamon.
Hey, Gary. Thank you very much. And one man who has a much shorter commute to Citi Field than you and Keith is Mike Baxter, growing up in Whitestone, and that's where he's living now, that he's been called up by the Mets. So obviously he was a very popular person in the Met clubhouse this afternoon before his first major league career start, telling the media about what a dream it is to be a big league on the team he used to grow up watching, and talking about coming to Shea. He actually played in a Catholic League championship game at Shea Stadium for Archbishop Malloy against Moore Catholic. And he was asked, how do you deal with, being home and all your friends talking about how you get to practice with Mookie Wilson and people wanting tickets while trying to become and sticking as a major leaguer? And he said, well, you know what? When he gets to Citi Field, he turns the phone off. It's his favorite part of the day because he goes right to work, practices with the guys, batting practice, and he goes right to work, turns the phone off. And obviously, Gary, as you've mentioned, he's had a very busy day at the office here tonight.
Josh Tolley has his second hit of the night. Well, it must be nice, you come up with your brand new team and you stay at your parents' house in Whitestone. Oh, that's very nice. Just drop me an email.
Nice fingernails, you notice?
No, I didn't. I was too busy trying to read the sign. It's very nice of her to ask, though.
Yeah. And you would be nice enough to sign for her if you ran into her.
I never say no.
I know.
You know who I learned that from?
Not me.
Ralph Kiner.
Ah, Ralph never says no.
Ralph has never said no to anybody in his life when it comes to autographs.
Ralph's very good that way.
Here's Ruben Tejada with one out and one on. And he drives one to deep left field. Blank's going back. It's over his head and off the wall. Totally legging for third. And Tejada pulls in at second with a hard hit double. So Ruben Tejada is 2 for 2.
Hanging slider. Nicely done, Ruben. Staying right in. And that's off the base of the wall.
So the 7 and 8 hitters, Tolley and Tejada, combined 4 for 4 tonight. Mets have had only one other hit from the rest of their lineup. We got now R.A. Dickey, who came up with the bases loaded in the second and flied out. We'll try and get a run in.
Here we are again. Now it's a 5-run lead, Garrett. And the last time Dickey was up, the bases were loaded and first baseman playing in. I don't get it. It's a 5-run lead.
Well, Jason Pridey is getting his shin guard on. Looks like he's getting set to bat for Angel Pagan. Dickey grounds one toward the hole, a base hit.
There you go.
That'll get the first Met run in. Tolley scores. Tejada to third. Dickey with his second run batted into the season. And now it's 5-1 San Diego. Well, the Mets, who left 5 runners on base in the first 2 innings, finally scratch here in the 4th.
So why in the heck are you playing the infield corners in? And there you go. He's 5 feet back. He's got that ball and turns and goes to first. You can see the run. I don't get it.
Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, is out to the mound. Meanwhile, Jason Pridey is going to bat for Angel Pagan. Pagan did not have a play in the field in the last inning. He made that errant throw, trying to throw behind Harang in the second. That's the last time he was involved. So we'll wait and see what has befallen Angel Pagan and why he has come out of the game.
But we hope it's not the abdominal. He's had a problem with that earlier in the year.
Missed a month of time earlier this season. Pridey filled in for him in center field. So Pridey, the pinch hitter, first and third and one out, and he takes ball 1. 3 straight hits from the 7, 8, and 9 hitters have gotten the Mets on the board. Tejada now at third and Dickey at first with 1 out. And Pridey bounces it off his foot, a foul ball. Jason came off the bench in the game on Monday night, and he started the game-winning rally against Heath Bell with a base hit. Justin Turner on deck. Friday doing better and better in his bench role. And getting a chance to drive in a run here. Now the 1-2, and Pridey fouls it off. Well, Harang had to throw a lot of pitches early in this game to work out of jams in the first and second. And now he finds himself trying to work out of a situation in the fourth. He's already up to 67 pitches now with one out of the fourth inning. Remember what happened to him his last start, 5 innings, 13 hits in a victory. The looper into left field, tagging at third is Tejada. Blanks with the catch. Here comes Tejada. Blanks will throw it home on the fly, and he's out. Tejada didn't slide. That's awful. That's just awful. He would have been safe if he had slid, because the catcher Martinez had to go up for the ball, and that enabled him to put the tag on Tejada.
And Turner's telling him to slide.
Don't understand it. Do not understand it. Double play ends the inning. Mets settle for 1 run and trail 5-1. Part of the New York Sports Local tomorrow at 5 on SNY. Well, here's the play at the plate.
High throw, he slides, he's safe. We're not going to belabor a point.
Now, what could Turner have done better in terms of helping him?
See, Turner, where is he? He's right there. He could have been more emphatic about sliding. But still, it's no excuse. Okay, Turner's coming up. He's telling him to slide. But you can say he can be more emphatic, but what is Tejada thinking? I mean,
dribbled in front of the plate, and Tolle pounces on it.
That's a shallow.
Throws out Maben.
That's a shallow fly ball to left field. When in doubt, you slide. There's only 2 things you can do. You can either knock the catcher on his duff or you slide.
I'm trying to think what might have been in Tejada's mind, and all I can think is maybe he thought the throw was going to second base. Otherwise, how do you explain it?
I feel like Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing. I see nothing. I hear nothing.
Well, that's not true. You see everything. Jesus Guzman takes a fastball up and in. Well, the Mets scored 1 run in that fourth and certainly should have had 2 and maybe more. if Tejada doesn't make the third out at the plate. Down the right field side. Duda coming over. Watches it go in the crowd. Baxter, I should say. Jason Pridey now playing center field. He pinch hit for Pagan and stayed in the game. And we'll try and find out as soon as we can what has happened to Angel Pagan. It was just Sunday that we saw Willie Harris in the on-deck circle to bat for Reyes and had no idea why, as Tejada throws out Guzman for the second out. And now it's happened just 3 days later. The Mets leadoff hitter is supposed to bat, and all of a sudden somebody else is batting instead. An all too frequent occurrence for this franchise over the last few years. Not only players disappearing from the lineup, but disappearing for enormous chunks of time. Here's Kyle Blanks with 2 out and nobody on. Well, credit to Blanks for making that throw home on the fly to the catcher Martinez. Gets credit for an outfield assist in gunning down Tejada. Blanks has singled and walked tonight and scored 2 runs. Dickey has settled in to retire 7 in a row. Question is it too late? And there's the good slow knuckleball. 1-2 to Blanks.
The eephus. Well, that one dropped.
Fastball grounded to short. Tejada with a long throw to make and right on target to get Blanks and end the inning. 8 straight retired by Dickey, now halfway through at Citi Field. 5-1 Padres. Justin Turner leads off the home 5th inning against Aaron Harang and takes a strike. Turner has walked and into a forced play, 0-for-1. David Wright and Lucas Duda to follow. Mets scratched out a run in the 4th, looking for more after trailing 5-0 against Harang, who's already given up 6 hits. Cued foul, and it's 0-2 to Turner. Big Aaron Harang looking for his 11th win of the year. And when you're 10-3 for a team that's 15 games under 500, it's pretty impressive. It means you pick the right days to pitch, but it also means that you've found ways to win games for a team that has not scored a lot of runs. 3.91 ERA for Harang. Not great, but good enough. Half swing by Turner, and he stopped it in time. 1-2. And for Aaron Harang, he's kind of living out a dream this year, going home to San Diego, where he grew up, went to college at San Diego State, grew up going to games at Jack Murphy Stadium and rooting for Tony Gwynn, Gary Sheffield, and Steve Garvey. Those were his guys. Swing and a miss, and Turner's down on strikes. Martinez makes the toss to complete the putout. Fourth strikeout for Harang. Well, between innings, Ruben Tejada came into the dugout, and Terry Collins wanted to make sure he got his point across about the non-slide, so he used Ronnie Polino as a translator. Ruben speaks some English, but Terry wanted to make sure he got his point across.
And I believe he did. And so tell him right there it's a high throw. Pretty basic. You got to slide. And when in doubt, slide.
I guess that's the bottom line, isn't it? If you have any doubt at all.
Baseball 101.
David Wright is 0 for 2, and he drives one toward right center field. That's going to get in the gap and go to the wall. David legs into second base with a one-out double.
Fastball away, and David goes right with it. Fastball up, belt high. That's what I like, what I see from David so far. Cut down that uppercut that he developed over the years.
And with that double, David Wright has now tied Ed Kranepool for the Mets' all-time lead in total bases. 2,047 total bases in his Mets career. So the Mets have their 7th hit off Harang, and now Lucas Duda, who has struck out his first 2 at-bats, looking in the first, swinging in the third. Foul back, 0-1. The word on Angel Pagan is he left the game with lower back spasms. So Pagan leaves with back spasms. That's why Jason Pridey's in the game in center field.
Well, it's a good thing that it's not the abdominal that Angel hurt earlier.
And the curveball misses to Duda, a ball and a strike.
The Mets are 4 runs down and by no means out of it. They have shown that.
Not the way they've been playing lately.
I'm hanging around.
Well, good. Because I know you have an early game tomorrow.
I'm not one of those guys going to leave early.
Duda flies one out to left center. And Maben calls. 2 out. So 2 out. Wright still at second. Jason Bay coming up. Let's throw a Toyota text poll at you. Should the Mets move the walls at Citi Field in? A for yes, B for no. Text 57508 or SNY.TV to express your opinion. There's the Great Wall of Flushing.
And that's a very broad brush being painted right there with that question. I mean, there are certain areas that could be moved in, certain areas that should stay. But I guess it's just a basic general question.
Well, you could change the ability of players to hit home runs to left field without moving the fence in.
Correct.
You would just have to lower the fence. But the problem is that the way it's configured, in order to lower the fence, you'd have to take off that top padding and paint a line. And I think that aesthetically is not the best.
However, with instant replay on home runs, it would not ever be an issue. Umpires would be able to go in and see the videotape, the replay, if you drew a line.
Well, here's the other thing that you could do. You could move the fence in slightly and put more seats in and angle those seats down so that you create a slightly shorter left field and a lower fence, and you accomplish several goals, including adding some pretty good seats. Bay grounds out to end the inning. Mets waste the double by Wright. 5-1 San Diego after 5. We go into the 6th inning here at Citi Field, and a very comfortable night for baseball. Mets down 5-1. Logan Forsythe leads off for San Diego. Ari Dickey, after a very rough first 3 innings, has retired 8 in a row. Forsythe drove in a run with a double in the 3rd. He's also reached on an error. 1 for 2.
This might be the last inning of work for R.A., this being the National League, of course. He is the 4th hitter scheduled up next inning. If a base hit, he'll be pinch hit for.
Alberto Gonzalez on deck. Luis Martinez behind him here in the 6th. And a slow ground ball. Wright will cut in to get it. And he guns down Forsythe, 1 away. Let's check in with the studio. Chris Carlin is there with the New York State Smokers Quit Line game break. Only 25 more games to go for Uggla to get to DiMaggio.
Only?
Only. Gives you an idea just what that streak represents and how monumental it is to hit in 56 straight games.
And let me tell you something. They can say all they want about, okay, there's more media today, but I do think there was a lot of pressure on Joe in that 56 games. He's well aware of what he was doing. It's tough going to the ballpark every day knowing that. And excuse me. And I was looking at the papers. Newsday had a day-to-day box score of what DiMaggio did in the box score of the game. A lot of times, he had a 1 for 3, a 1 for 4. So there was a lot of times he was under the gun to get a hit.
Sure. Popped up by Gonzalez. Friday comes in to take charge. 2 out. Well, not only does he arrive at the crack of dawn, but he keeps a colorful scorecard for every Mets game. And now Keith is giving one away. Just like us at Facebook.com/SNY. And you could win an absolutely authentic autographed Keith Hernandez scorecard from the last Subway Series. Enter exclusively at Facebook.com/SNY for your chance to win.
Well, all you folks out there don't get excited. And, the Facebook can only take so many hits at once.
Friends, they're called.
Friends?
Yes. Millions and millions of friends for you on Facebook to get a hold of one of those scorecards. By the way, you know what was on the SNY Facebook page today?
At Big Al.
Al's catch of the donut.
It was a great catch.
It was a nice toss, by the way.
It was a nice toss.
It was almost like the way you made the 3-1 put out. You kind of walked the ball over to first. You walked the donut to him. Brilliant play in the hole to throw out Martinez and end the inning. Tejada showing off his skills on the backhand. And the nice jump throw. Jeter-esque.
Wow. That's impressive. That's a cannon.
That's 11 straight retired by Dickey.
Jonathan, a little bit of a bump in the road right now. Looking to right that ship. Remember, he had a kind of a hit the wall last season towards the end in September, late August.
Mike Baxter will lead off an inning for the third time tonight. He walked in the second, grounded out in the fourth against Aaron Harang. And he takes a strike. Baxter, Tolle, and Tejada. Lower part of the Mets order has done most of the hitting tonight. Tolle, Tejada, Dickey combined 5 for 6. Mets have their bullpen active now with Dickey due up fourth in the inning. R.A. finally settling into a groove and retiring 11 in a row, but if the Mets get anybody on, undoubtedly will leave for a pinch hitter with the Mets down by 4.
Well, the Mets have had their chances against Harang. They left 5 men on base the first 2 innings and got nothing to show for it. And then, of course, in the fourth, only got 1 run when they probably should have had at least 2 runs.
Two and 2 to Baxter. Mike, a proud product of the New York Catholic High School League. Went to St. Luke's for elementary school and then on to Archbishop Malloy. And there's another one out of Xaverian High School, Pedro Beato. 2-2. And Baxter down on strikes. That's strikeout number 5 for Aaron Harang. 1 out in the home 6th. Well, the Brewers have won 5 in a row and have opened up a 4-game lead in the National League Central. Tied with the Cardinals tonight 1-1 after a 10-inning victory last night.
Well, the Cardinals got to win that game.
Jake Westbrook on the mound for St. Louis tonight. Here's Josh Tolle, 2 for 2, a single to left, a single to right. He scored a run. So in his last 2 starts now, Tolle is 5 for 6, including a double and a home run. Has his batting average up to .264, the highest it's been in some time. And again, he gets himself in a positive count, 2-0. Mets trying to battle uphill again tonight. We talked about it briefly during the open tonight as Tolle hits one deep to center field, chasing Maben way back to the track at the wall, and it bounces at the base of the fence. And Tolle has his 3rd hit of the night, a 408-foot double. Wow, is he hitting the ball well.
Change up. Right down the pipe and up, and Josh all over it. Deepest part of the park right there.
So the Mets have their 8th hit, and most of them have come from the bottom of the order. Tolle 3 for 3, Tejada 2 for 2, a single and a double. Scott Hairston has come out on deck to pinch hit for Dickey, so the Mets trying to get something working here in the 6th. Tejada single to center, then doubled off the wall and left, and was thrown out at the plate, trying to score on the fly ball by Jason Pridey that ended the 4th. And he takes off the plate for ball 1.
And the IOTV pitch differential, you can see right there. Up, down the pipe, inner half.
Anthony Bass, the right-hander, Joe Thatcher, the left-hander, up in the San Diego bullpen, which has been beleaguered in this series. Neither one of those gentlemen has pitched. Toward the middle of the diamond, flashing over is Bartlett to make the play, and throws out Tejada 2 away. Tolle goes to 3rd. So now 2 out in the inning with a runner at 3rd. Hairston was out on deck, but he's gone back in the dugout, and Nick Evans is going to pinch hit instead as Pedro Beato gets ready in the Mets bullpen. So it'll be Evans to pinch hit. Nick was right in the middle of the Mets' 8th inning comeback last night with a sacrifice fly. That brought home the tying run. Now he's looking to pick up Tolle from 3rd to get the Mets a little closer in the 6th. So Evans batting for R.A. Dickey, who's done after 6 innings, allowing 5 runs, 3 of them earned on 6 hits. Bad start, good finish for Dickey, who retired his last 11. But unless the Mets have a huge rally in store, another start that will go by for R.A. without a victory. 1-0 to Evans. It's hard to believe that through 24 starts this year, R.A. Dickey will have 5 wins. Got off to a poor start this year, but the last 3 months has pitched awfully well. Just has not been in position to win. Part of that is on the offense, part of it on the bullpen, and part of it on R.A. One to Nick, and he takes it outside. 2-1. Mets are heading to Arizona this weekend. That's where Nick Evans calls home. A lot of ball players have taken up residence in Arizona the last few years.
Well, it's a good climate down there in the winter. It's beautiful, like Florida, and you can work out year round. A lot of golf if you're a golfer, like Florida. But I think they have a state tax there. That might be the only difference. Florida does not.
Hit hard down the left field line. That's an extra base hit for Evans. Tolley is in to score. And Evans will cruise into second base with an RBI double to get the Mets a little closer. It's now 5-2.
No, a hanging slider. Nice hitting behind the count. Evans stays in, gets a hanger right on a tee. Nicely done.
So doubles by Tolley and Evans here in the 6th inning. Evans coming through as a pinch hitter for the 2nd straight day. Now it's 5-2, and here's Pridey, who should have had a sacrifice fly in the 4th inning, but for Ruben Tejada's failure to slide. Instead, it went as a 7-2 double play. 96 pitches now for Harang. He's given up 9 hits, but only 2 runs. And as we mentioned earlier, in his last start, gave up 13 hits in 5 innings and 4 runs. Justin Turner on deck. Mets have 2 runs tonight. Both have been driven in from the number 9 spot in the batting order. Dickey drove in the 1st run. And now Evans, pinch hitting for Dickey, drives in the 2nd. Pridey came in the game when Angel Pagan had to leave because of lower back spasms.
Off speed, hit up the middle, a base hit. Evans around third. He's being waved home. Jason Pridey with an RBI single, and now it's 5-3. And here come the Mets again.
Another breaking ball, another hanger, and that's going to be it. Bud Black's going to come out and get his pitcher. Not that bad right there. Pretty good hit.
So Bud Black's going to come out and make a double switch. Mets have scored twice. Both runs coming with 2 out here in the 6th inning. Black was trying to nurse Harang through the 6th. That won't work. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Lincoln. 5-3 San Diego. We'll be right back. Darnell with himself. Unable to finish off the inning. Gave up a couple of runs in the 6th. Changes for the Padres. Logan Forsythe moves from third base to second base. James Darnell comes in to play third. He'll bat 9th. And rookie right-hander Anthony Bass will pitch and bat 7th.
This is Bass' second stint up here with the Pods in 2011. He's worked 8 relief outings since his recall and only given up 1 run.
They come in to face Justin Turner, tying run at the plate in a 5-3 game. Mets were down 5-0. Got a run in the 4th. Should have had more, and they've got 2 runs home here in the 6th. So the Mets trying to fashion another comeback tonight. And now there's some confusion about the lineup for San Diego, and so Jeff Nelson's going to make sure that Terry Collins has it straight. The scoreboard has it wrong, and I think that's why Terry is checking. The scoreboard has Gonzalez still in the game at second base, and that's incorrect. So they've got Gonzalez at second. Bass should be in the 7 hole. Gonzalez is out. Forsythe is still in the 6 hole. So they'll correct that.
Oh, this is a big at bat right here.
Turner is 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. Mets are facing Bass for the first time. 5th round pick in 2008 out of Wayne State University in Detroit. And Friday with decent speed at first base. The Mets have 10 hits tonight. So Harang, who gave up 13 hits and 1 in his last start, gives up 10 hits and 5 2/3 tonight and leaves with the lead. David Wright waiting on deck. And Turner, first pitch swinging, flies one out to shallow left center. In comes Blanks to get it, and that retires the side. So Bass throws 1 pitch, gets the out, but the Mets get closer with a couple of RBI hits. Nick Evans comes off the bench with an RBI double. Jason Friday, who came off the bench earlier in the game, hits one up the middle to drive in Evans. And it's 5-3 San Diego after 6. New York Mets baseball NY is brought to you by Common Ground Alliance. Know what's below? Call 811 before you dig. By Cholula Hot Sauce. Want the perfect balance of flavor and heat? Add Cholula Hot Sauce to your next meal. Just look for the iconic wooden cap. And by the American Red Cross. Come to the Mets blood drive at Citi Field on August 13th and help save lives.
I used the Cholula Hot Sauce this morning on my breakfast, on my omelet.
How'd that go?
That was delicious.
Glad to hear.
And there's Pedro Beato coming in here. A little Tough patch for Pedro here. We've been giving up some runs lately. His 42nd appearance.
James Darnell leads off. He came in the game in the double switch. Darnell made his major league debut last night. Started at third base. Went 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. So he's looking for his first big league hit as he bats against Beato in the 7th. And he takes a fastball for a strike, 1-1. Beato's last outing was good and bad. It was good. He came in for Mike Pelfrey with 1 out in the 7th and a man on, and he got a couple of ground ball outs. Then it was bad. He stayed on for the 8th, walked his first batter, and hit the 2nd. He left the game, and both those guys came around to score. That was in Monday night's game, the opening game of the series. So it's been like that for Beato. A little bit of good and a little bit of bad after a spectacular start to his career back in April and May. Slow ground ball. Tejada on the charge, and he throws out Darnell, 1 away. So 1 out and nobody out. Will Venable coming up. Let's check in with Eamon McEnany.
Well, Gary, as you mentioned last inning, 2 New York City Catholic League graduates on the Met field right now in Baxter and Beato, and they actually faced each other a lot. One game stood out to Beato. It was a summer league game when he was playing for a team called Youth Services, while Baxter was playing for the Bayside Yankees. It was a tournament up in Troy, New York, and Baxter didn't remember it very well. Nothing stood out, so he didn't have a good game. But Beato said he gave up 2 home runs, 4 runs, but he was emphatic that he still got the win, so he remembers it still very well.
Yeah, Baxter said, I'm not sure if I faced him, but I know he was really big in our league, talking about Beato. Baxter's a couple of years older than Pedro Beato. Venable hits it out to left center. Back goes Bay toward the gap. He won't get there, and Venable's got another extra base hit. So Will Venable, who started this night with a triple to right, now has a double to left.
3 for 4 on the night.
So the Padres have their 7th hit and their first since the 3rd inning. Dickey and Beato retired 12 in a row. Now Venable in scoring position for Jason Bartlett, who drove in the first run of the night with a sacrifice fly. Bartlett 0 for 2 on the night. And a line drive up the middle, base hit. Venable to third. He'll be held up there as Pridey throws it into the cutoff man. So a couple of hard hits off Beato. Venable with a double, and now Bartlett with his first hit of the night. And the Padres have first and third and 1 out.
And this is off the glove of Pedro. Line drive up the middle. It comes up and froze the runner, Venable, at second because he wasn't sure if Turner was going to get to it. And now Dan Warthen's going to come out and have a chat, and Derek Collins has a difficult decision to make here because you got Maben up, and if you play back for 2, he's going to have to hit a bullet to double that man up because he can fly. Do you bring the infield in? I think you got to bring your corner infielders in a little bit, Gary. I mean, your corner infielders have got to be in. Your middle infielders have got to be halfway. We'll see.
Maben tonight has gone 0 for 3, a couple of ground balls and a strikeout. 5 for 13 in this series, and he has as many extra base hits, as many infield hits as anybody in the league.
Okay, they're playing it back for 2, and see they're bringing Turner in a little bit now. Turner was playing way too deep.
So he and Tejada both playing it halfway.
So you can get a ground ball hit slowly. You can throw the runner out at home.
And a drive in the air to deep left center. Back goes Bay to the warning track. He makes the catch. Venable tags and walks on in. Going to second is Bartlett. Sacrifice fly for Cameron Maben, and he didn't miss a 3-run homer by much. 6-3 San Diego.
Well, he didn't waste any time, and like I said, whenever you got a pitcher in trouble, you first pitch fastball. Hit right on it. He just got under it a little bit. So Maben just continues to impress me in this series. This is the swing I have not seen from that young man.
Good base running by Bartlett to take second on that play. So he's in scoring position for Jesus Guzman, who was 1 for 3, singled and scored back in the 3rd. So after the Mets put 2 on the board in the bottom of the 6th, the Padres come right back to get 1 off Beato. R.A. Dickey went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned, a walk and a strikeout, and he's on the hook in this game. We've talked a lot during the last couple of months because of all the injuries the Mets have had about opportunity presenting itself for a young player and taking advantage of that opportunity. Well, the guy standing at the plate for San Diego is in that same boat. Nobody expected him to get an opportunity to play for this team, but it has worked out that way for him. And you don't know what's going to happen, but boy, is he off to a spectacular start. 3-0 now to Guzman, a guy who came through 2 different organizations, 10 years in the minor leagues, 27 years old, and was an afterthought. But he came up in the middle of June, getting a chance to play now, and he has not stopped hitting.
He's had a good series here, and swinging the bat good, hitting the ball hard.
Hitting .344 at the moment with sock. Swinging 3-0 there.
Why not? He's red hot.
Kyle Blank's waiting on deck.
Not a good pitch to swing at, 3-0. It was a fastball outside corner, knee high. If you're going to swing 3-0, you're going to look middle in.
And of course, that's the problem with giving an inexperienced player the hit sign on 3-0. Can he be judicious with it? Late on that fastball, and it's 3-2. Guzman got a sliver of time with the San Francisco Giants before coming over to San Diego. Bartlett at second with 2 down with a run home for the Padres in the 7th. And Guzman draws the walk. So another difficult inning continues for Pedro Beato.
That may not be such a bad move, though, with a red hot hitter, a runner in scoring position. Pitch carefully to Guzman.
Although Blanks has swung the bat pretty well in this series too.
But I think Blanks has a little more, far more holes in his swing than Guzman.
So now Bartlett at second, Guzman at first. Blanks is 1 for 2 and a walk tonight, 5 for 9 in this series. Two on and 2 out, and Blanks goes after the fastball, 0-1.
Got to keep the ball upstairs on Blanks. He does not like that ball upstairs.
Saying Blanks is empty upstairs?
I could think of something else to say, but I won't. Another high fastball. See, he's blind up there. Got a big uppercut. Way under it. It's missed it by a foot.
Well, let's see if Beato goes right back there. He does, and he gets him on 3 high fastballs. So Beato blows away Blanks to end the inning, but the Padres tack on a run. 7th inning stretch at Citi Field, 6-3 San Diego.
paid honor to the men and women who passed away on 9/11/2001. And earlier today, David Wright had a chance to get to meet two police officers, James Leahy and Barry Driscoll. Both James and Barry lost loved ones on 9/11. James lost his brother, and Barry lost his father. So they had a chance and an opportunity to come out and take the field and meet David Wright. And both today mentioned how important baseball and the Mets were 10 years ago for them to cope what they went through. And they expect baseball to play a similar role next month when the 10th anniversary comes by. And for David Wright, who's obviously his father was in law enforcement, it was special for him because he says, we just like to sit around and talk to these guys and get to know these guys and let them know that we're here and we're going to give back to the community. So Gary and Keith, a special moment for David Wright and those two officers here at Citi Field before the game.
Very cool thing for David to do.
Yes, sir, and the Mets were wonderful during that stretch. And particularly, I remember Bobby Valentine was the skipper, and Bobby just put his heart and soul into giving back to the city and the Mets in general. That team, and the Mets continue that.
With the Tuesday's Children program and so much more that the Mets have done since 9/11 to help out survivors and just continue to understand the impact that day had on this city. 1-2, and David down on strikes. Anthony Bass with his first strikeout.
Well, David swung and missed 3 sliders in a row. Something we haven't seen so far.
So 1 out and nobody on now. Lucas Duda. Duda 0 for 3, struck out twice, fly to center. Aaron Harang went 5 2/3, allowed 3 runs and 10 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. So 23 hits in the last 10 2/3 innings for Harang, and a chance to get 2 wins with those numbers. That's living right.
It is.
Now Duda facing Bass, who was a starting pitcher in the minor leagues for San Diego. Pulled to the right side. Guzman has it, and Bass covers, 2 out. So an 0 for 4 night for Lucas Duda. 2 out and nobody on for Jason Bay, whose 11-game hitting streak might be on the line here in the 7th. Jason's gone 0 for 3. Most of the Mets offense has come from the bottom of the order today. Toley 3 for 3. Tejada 2 for 3. Mets have gotten 2 RBIs out of the 9-hole. 3 runs and 10 hits for the Mets tonight. The Padres 6 runs and 8 hits. There's your Cholula hot sauce. Who's hot? Jason Bay is hot, although he's gone 0 for 3 tonight. So in honor of the iconic wooden cap, he's looking to get a hit and stay hot.
I cracked that iconic wooden cap this morning for my breakfast.
By that you mean opened it,
yes,
not broke it. Right. Now it's 3-0. Mike Baxter waiting on deck.
Boy, I look forward to the day game tomorrow.
I'm sure you'll be putting some Cholula on your omelet when you get up.
That's right. Actually, it's my, dare I say, my Nutrisystem omelet.
3-2 now to Bay. Well, let's give you the results of our Toyota Tex Bowl. We asked if they should move the fences in at Citi Field. Nearly 2/3 of you think they should.
I'm in their camp. I'm in A's camp.
Count me as undecided.
I think that they should start from the Xerox sign in right center field, and Jason walks and bring it across to right by the wheat thin sign on the right down the right field line.
That's not going to happen.
But don't make it a straight line. Make it bow it a little bit. I'll point out right here as we swing to the right. Start it right where the Xerox sign is, right there. Keep going, guys. And freeze it right there. I would do that, and I would bring it in right here a little bit of a bow, and bring out some more seats on top, and you got more space for the people down there in that the Mo zone.
It's not going to happen because they're not going to eliminate the Mo zone, and if you do that, then you eliminate the overhang in right field as being in play, which is part of the point of it.
Well,
with Gregerson and Josh Spence up in the bullpen for San Diego. I think what's much more likely is that they do something in left field with the high fence.
Or bring the fence down then.
Bring it in, bring it down. Yeah. And I'm not advocating for it one way or the other. I think that, you know, there's something very charming about the way this ballpark plays, and it creates a lot of conversation. And I think at this point, the Mets have to make a decision, because if you're going to bring the fences in, it changes the nature of the team you try to assemble.
Correct.
And Baxter 0 for 2 and a walk tonight.
Don't bring the fences in too far. That 384 in left center field. Don't bring it into 375. It's Wrigley Field. Let's not forget, it's 368 in the gaps. You can leave a 376 out there. Bring it in 7 feet. If you're going to bring it in, don't make it too tiny.
Baxter pulls one just foul. 1-2.
Always keep in mind that Wrigley Field, to me, is the barometer for bandboxes, and because it's 368 in the gaps.
Yeah, but
now 384 is a big gap. That was the gap in old Busch Stadium when I played there was 386, and that was a bomb. There was only one other gap bigger than that when I played in the National League, and that was the Astrodome, and that was 396, and that was just totally unfair.
One-two from Bass to Baxter, and he lines one to left center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Maben cuts it off deep in the gap. That'll hold Bay at third and hold Baxter at first. And the Mets have first and third and 2 down. So Baxter on base for the second time tonight.
Nice hitting right here. Fastball right down the outer half of the plate. Belt high, goes right with it, and Maben here saves a run with its speed, cutting that ball off.
Well, the Mets get the tying run to the plate with the red-hot Josh Thole at the plate. Thole in his last two starts now, 6 for 7. But Black has his left-hander, Josh Spence, who struggled so mightily, ready in the bullpen. Well, he's rushing back to the bullpen mound, and Gregerson throwing as well.
And here he comes.
Now, Spence had sat down and has just started throwing again, and Black is going to bring the lefty into the game. So he gets maybe 2 or 3 more throws, and Spence is going to be called in. So with Thole coming up, Spence on call. Mets down 6-3 in the 7th. We'll be right back. Is right back out there tonight.
Well, he's had good numbers here since his call-up, so obviously he's been doing most everything right. But last night he did not look good and looked tight in a real game-saving situation.
And an interesting call here for Terry Collins. He's going to leave Josh Tolle in because Tolle has been swinging the bat very well tonight. Now, Josh has had very few at-bats against lefties this year. He's just 5 for 29 against left-handed pitching. That's a 172 average. First and third and 2 down. And Tolle takes the breaking ball for a strike.
And first baseman over there, Guzman's got to guard the line, holding the runner on. He's got no doubles here. And that opens up that hole for Josh.
Tolle 3 for 3 tonight, 2 singles and a double. He scored twice. And that slider well off the plate, a ball and a strike.
Well, this guy's got, see Parnell Negarashi up. But Spence very seldom throws a fastball. He is what you'd call a junker from way back.
Junker from down under.
And I'm not talking about the Junkers from Germany.
Tolle lofts one toward the gap in right center. A long one from Maben, but he'll get there to end the inning. So the Mets leave a couple as Spence gets the job done. Retires Tolle. 6-3 Padres as we go to the 8th. What 4 National League teams have never had a player win a batting title? Well, if you're a Met fan, you know one of them.
Yes.
4 teams. No batting title. Logan Forsythe will lead off in the 8th inning for San Diego against Pedro Beato. Gave up a run in the 7th, stays on for the 8th. Forsythe 1 for 3, an RBI double in the 3rd. The pitcher's spot is due up next. Blake T. Cody has come out on deck to be a pinch hitter. Behind him, Luis Martinez. Pitchers in the 7 hole for San Diego. Well, the Mets have had plenty of chances tonight. They've left 10 runners on base. They had a runner thrown out at the plate. But we'll see if Terry Collins' team has anything left for the last 2 innings. The Mets have already done something in the last 2 nights that they hadn't done in 46 years. Popped up behind the plate, and Tolle comes back for a look, but that'll be out of play. I was shocked when Elias did the research and found out that the Mets had never had back-to-back games where they came from 2 or more runs down from the 8th inning on. Never happened back-to-back days until last night since 1965.
65. Can you believe that? And that was done in Candlestick Park against the Giants. Obviously the Giants.
Game-winning hit in the 2nd game. Danny Napoleon, a 3-run triple, the only triple of Danny Napoleon's career.
And they won the first one. They were down big and won in extra innings, won in 11, I believe.
They also did the same against the Milwaukee Braves in '62. So they did it in '62, '65, and then never again until the last 2 nights. Well, we'll have a chance to do it 3 in a row tonight. Friday puts away the fly ball by Forsythe for the first out. Let's check in with Chris Carlin, who has a New York State Smokers Quit Line game break.
How about that?
Well, the Indians can cut it to a 2-game deficit. See how they won last night? Bases loaded, bottom of the 14th, and Fukudome got hit by a pitch to drive in the winning run.
Well, do you really think he drove it in, or did he hit it in?
Whatever it is. Same way Ruben Tejada drove in the winning run for the Mets last
true.
night. So here's T. Cody hitting at .231. Well, the Padres have got rookies littering their roster from top to bottom. Maybe even more so than the Mets do. Blake T. Cody out of the University of Miami. Fouls one back. Took a nice rip at a fastball, and it's 0-2. Catcher Luis Martinez on deck. Now the 0-2 from Beato. And it's lined into right field over toward the line. Baxter makes the catch. Nice jump on that ball by Mike Baxter to make it look easy. 2 out.
Once he got there, it's routine, but he did get a beautiful break on that.
So 2 up and 2 set aside by Beato in his second inning of work. And now Luis Martinez, the catcher, who's 1 for 3. Has had 2 terrific plays made against him in the field. Drove in a run with a single in the second. Then Duda made a spectacular play to throw him out to retire him in the third. Tejada did the same in the sixth. More routine this time for Tejada. And a 1-2-3 inning for Beato. Well, Mets will come up in the bottom of the 8th. This has been a big inning for them the last 2 days. Let's see if they can do it again. John Neese against Corey Lupke in the series finale. Pair of left-handers. 11:30 a.m. Our coverage begins right here on SNY. Luke Gregerson comes on to pitch the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Gregerson was one of the few relievers last night that pitched for the Pods that had a clean inning. He came in and was very impressive in his 7th inning last night. 1-2-3 with a strikeout. He's their workhorse.
Blake T. Cody stays in the game in left field. And so the pitcher bats in the 5 hole as Blanks comes out. Ruben Tejada will lead off for the Mets. Willie Harris on deck to bat for the pitcher, and then Jason Friday here in the bottom of the 8th. Now, the Padres have had one of the best bullpens in baseball over the last few years, and until the trading deadline this year, they had it perfectly set with Heath Bell closing, Mike Adams setting up, Gregerson working the 7th most of the time. But with Mike Adams traded to Texas, it kind of upset the apple cart. Black gave the 8th inning to Chad Qualls, and Qualls melted down each of the last 2 nights. So tonight, Bud is changing the program and using Gregerson in the 8th.
Got to play the corners in on Tejada leading off here. And the infield is playing in at the corners. Potential bunt.
Tejada 2 for 3, single to center, doubled off the wall and left. Grounded out to short his last at bat, and he takes low and away from Gregerson for ball 1. Gregerson last night worked a 1-2-3 7th inning against the bottom of the batting order. Aaron Harang started this game, and he's pitcher of record on the long side despite giving up 10 hits in 5 2/3. Only 3 runs. Bobby Parnell getting ready in the Mets bullpen. And Tejada takes a strike, 1-1. Monday night, the Mets were down 8-4 going to the bottom of the 8th. Got 2 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th to win. Last night, the Mets were down 4-2 going to the bottom of the 8th and scored 3 in the 8th to push in front and win. Tejada goes the other way. Fair ball going to the right field corner. Ruben Tejada has his 3rd hit of the night and pulls in at second base with a leadoff double.
Gets a high sinker here. Up. Oh, that's a cutter up. So the Pods have just been hurt all day by the Mets on breaking ball pitches.
So Tejada has his 2nd double of the game. He had only 4 extra base hits all season before today. So it's time for Keith's train of thought, brought to you by Acela. And I guess the question is, when a team has come back the way the Mets have the last couple of nights, does that breed more comebacks? Does it breed an ability to do that more in coming nights?
Let me think here. Yes, I agree. I agree. It is contagious, folks. This team believes that it could come back. It's had 2 nice wins, nice leadoff double. This has been their inning where they started their comebacks, and Tejada right now delivers.
I think I could follow that train of thought. Willie Harris pinch hitting. Ruben Tejada tying his career high with 3 hits, a single and 2 doubles. Getting it started for the Mets in the bottom of the 8th. Mets now have a dozen hits. Willie Harris tries to keep the line moving. And he pulls one past Guzman and down the right field line. Tejada being waved home. Bobbled in right field by Venable, but Harris holds it first with an RBI single. And now it's 6-4. And this little Met machine is revving up again.
How about that? Sinker didn't sink. Harris all over it. Right down the line. And why was the first baseman playing in so much? For the right-hand pitcher, I'm sorry.
Now the Mets get the tying run to the plate. The Mets have 3 RBIs out of the 9-hole tonight. Dickey drove in a run. Evans as a pinch hitter drove in a run. And now Harris as a pinch hitter has driven one in. Jason Friday didn't start this game. Angel Pagan left in the 4th inning with back spasms. Friday hit a fly ball that should have scored a run in the 4th. But Tejada was thrown out of the plate when he didn't slide. Friday did drive in a run in the 6th inning with a single to center field. Heath Bell starting to get loose. So is the lefty Joe Thatcher in the Padre pen. And Friday swings at the changeup. 0-2.
Well, the Padres have been hurt twice, having their corner infielders in. They got hurt off the bat of Dickey when Dickey drove in the run back in the 4th inning, first Met run, by the 3rd baseman playing in. And now right there, Harris puts it by Guzman on the other corner.
Breaking ball down to Friday, 1-2. Nobody out in the inning. Turner, Wright, and Duda behind Friday in the batting order as the Mets try and rev up the 8th inning magic again. Double play ball. Forsythe to Bartlett. High throw, and this one's off the bag. And that keeps them from turning two. Bartlett normally so sure, but he threw it high, and they get just the one out.
I know that mistakes happen, but you got to make sure here. This is the team that has come back and bitten you on the rear end twice late in the ball game. There's a tailor-made double play, and they don't get it.
It should have been 2 out and nobody on. Instead, it's 1 out, and the tying run remains at the plate. And Justin Turner coming up. Turner tonight 0 for 3 and a walk. Friday at first and 1 out. And Justin takes a strike.
Boy, oh boy, defense, defense, defense. That ensures, without a double play, gets right up with a potential 1 swing, 2-run home run, tie the ball game.
Yeah, Gregerson paints at the knees with the fastball, and it's 0-2. David in the on-deck circle. Now Turner has to try and battle out of a hole. Bounce foul. Well, the Padres coming into this series at the lowest ERA of any bullpen in the league. It's now 3rd. With what the Mets have done to them the last 2 nights. Bud Black has had ultimate faith in that bullpen over the last couple of seasons. They built a strong one, and they have ridden it. Helped them win 90 games last year. Heath Bell as the anchor, but he got touched up for a blown save on Monday night.
Tell you what, the 9th position in the Mets batting order today has been big time productive. 3 for 4 with a run and 3 RBI. That's Dickey with 2 at-bats, a base hit and an RBI, pinch hit double, RBI double by Evans, and a pinch hit RBI single by Harris.
It's the middle of the batting order that struggled. 2, 3, 4, 5. Turner, Wright, Duda, and Bay. Just 1 hit in 14 at-bats. Turner trying to change that. Grounds 1 to short. That might be 2. Bartlett gets the out at second. Forsythe the turn, and he stays on the bag. Guzman does for the double play to end the inning. So they couldn't turn the double play on Friday's ball. They do on Turner's grounder. 6-4-3. They get the Padres through the bottom of the 8th. 6-4 San Diego. Let's answer our AT&T trivia question. The 4 National League teams who have never had a player with a batting title. Well, the Mets are 1. Diamondbacks, Brewers, Astros. How about that? Bobby Parnell on to pitch in the top of the 9th. And he faces James Darnell. Parnell against Darnell. Bobby Parnell from Salisbury, North Carolina, and James Darnell from the University of South Carolina.
What a rivalry.
The battle of the Arnells. 2 balls and a strike.
Actually, the big rivalry down there, South Carolina, is with
Clemson.
Yes.
That's their rival. That's a big, big game. Slow ground ball and just foul. We go to Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina on a Saturday afternoon. 80,000 folks all dressed in orange. It's crazy.
Yes, it is. That's why I like college football.
Ryota Igarashi up in the Mets bullpen. And Heath Bell hoping to redeem himself after his blown save on Monday night, getting ready for San Diego. James Darnell looking for his first big league hit. He's 0 for 1 in this game after making his debut last night. And Parnell misses high at 99 miles an hour, 3-2. Will Venable and Jason Bartlett to follow as the Padres look for some insurance in the ninth. They led it 5-0. The Mets cut it to 5-3, then 6-3. Then the Mets got another run back to make it 6-4. So the Mets have been pushing uphill all night. Again, the 3-2 to Darnell. Hit hard, and Darnell has his first major league hit. James Darnell will get that baseball for safekeeping. We'll check in with the studio, see what's coming up on Lincoln Postgame Live. Chris Carlin and Ronnie Darling, guys. All right, we'll check in with you guys after the game. Now, Will Venable has had a huge night. Needs just a home run for the cycle. Led off the game with a triple into the Mo zone, single to center in the 2nd, and double to left center in the 7th. And he drives this one down the left field side, bay toward the line, and that lands for a hit. Venable's 4th hit of the game. Darnell goes to 3rd, and Venable has a double. It's quite a night for Will Venable, who didn't start last night against the lefties. Starts tonight 4 for 5, a single, 2 doubles, and a triple.
Fastball right down the outer half, a little tardy, stays level enough on that bell-tied fastball to just slice away from Bay. Has no shot with this ball slicing.
And Venable has pretty much gone line to line with his 4 hits tonight. So Parnell gives up 2 straight hits to start the ninth, and the Mets have to bring the infield in with Jason Bartlett at the plate. Bartlett 1 for 3. Drove on a run with a first inning sacrifice fly. Padres now have 10 hits in the game. And Bartlett fouls it off. Cameron Maybin on deck.
Oh, good slider. 2 in a row.
Darnell at 3rd, Venable at 2nd with nobody out. Oh, 2 from Parnell, and nice stop by Tolley on the slider. 1-2.
I just think after 2 straight sliders, pretty wicked. Just put one inside, move him off the plate. That 98 mile an hour fastball. Then you can do whatever you want with them. Just don't like an 0-2 breaking ball like that wasted as a waste pitch.
Struck him out with a fastball. So Parnell comes back to strike out Bartlett, 1 away.
Pretty good pitching right there. A lot of plate, but up. As Bartlett fell behind the count on 2 wicked sliders and really put him behind put him in a tough spot off a hard thrower like Parnell.
Bartlett would need a thesaurus to describe that fastball.
There are many adjectives would describe that fastball.
You might have a whole book of quotations. So 1 away now. Cameron Maben, who was 0 for 3 in a sacrifice fly tonight. The infield still in. And Maben grounds one to short. Runner coming home. The throw will go to first, and no interference is called. Although the runner at second base, Venables, certainly appeared to be in the neighborhood of Tejada. No argument from the Mets.
I think he got out of the way. Let's see what happens here. He's got to hold. He's got to come inside. Tejada comes and gets it quick. Does he try to tag him?
You see how Tejada ducks out of the way? Like he was afraid of a collision.
This is a better angle right here. This captures it. He's holding up. There's no contact. There's no interference. And let's give credit to Darnell, who on contact broke, and really, with that ball was hit hard enough, do you think, to have a play at the plate? Tejada did not.
So the ground out by Maben produces a run to make it 7-4. Now Venable at third with 2 out with Jesus Guzman at the plate. Guzman 1 for 3 and a walk tonight. And it's lined into right center, and that'll bring home another run. Venable comes in to score. It's an RBI single for Jesus Guzman, and the Padres now have stretched their lead to 8-4. So Guzman, who has been so impressive throughout this series, drives in yet another run, his 26th since the All-Star break.
Slider hanging. No, not really. It's out on the outer half of the plate, but it's a flat slider. And now I don't like Bobby throwing the flat slider. I like him to get. He has to get on top more to get a little downward tilt on that slider. It's an easier pitch to control. I'm sure Ronnie's listening in the studio for a pitcher to throw a little more 3/4, and it's flat, and you think you can control it better. But as a hitter, it's easier to hit, particularly when you're righty-righty, lefty-lefty, because the ball breaks on the same plane.
So Parnell has given up a couple of runs here in the ninth. That's 3 runs off the Mets bullpen tonight. Aaron Cunningham will be a pinch hitter. Batting for the pitcher Gregerson. Heath Bell will be coming on in the ninth, presumably, although now it's not a save situation for Bell. And it's outside to Cunningham for ball 1. And Cunningham started in right field last night, went 1 for 3.
You got a 12-10 game tomorrow. Bell hadn't pitched in 5 days, Gary. The first time he came in, the first night he blew the save. He may just bring him in to get him a tune-up.
What you're always afraid of as a manager when you do that is your closer gets involved in a long inning,
right,
and then you lose him for the next day.
Exactly. So you keep him on a tight leash.
Yeah, but once it's close, then who do you bring in?
Well, that's a me. You send your pitching coach out there and you say, look, this is not a safe situation. You hadn't pitched in 5 days. You were off. Really work hard this inning. Focus. Focus on a clean inning. Let's get your rhythm going, because we may need you tomorrow in a day game to come in with a 1-run game and save it for us.
One and 1 to Cunningham. The runner goes. The throw by Tolle is high, and it's a stolen base for Jesus Guzman. His 2nd of the series and his 5th of the year.
Well, he snuck one here, and I can't fault Parnell on this one. I mean, he doesn't steal a lot of bases. He just took a chance. It's actually a pretty smart play on Guzman's part. Where the Mets have been coming from behind, and nothing's safe.
And meanwhile, the Padres just continue to put up numbers. 55 runs now in their last 6 games for a team that had been at the bottom in the National League in runs scored when the streak began. 55 runs and 75 hits in a 6-game span. 2-1 to Aaron Cunningham. And he rolls one to the right side due to ranging wide, and Parnell gets over to cover.
Safe! And now rounding the bag at third, Guzman, and he is trapped, but Parnell didn't throw it, and he's able to get back. Well, Guzman ran the bases horribly, and the Mets had 2 shots at him, and by the time Parnell realized it, it was too late.
Nice feed by Duda. Did he miss? He missed the base. Yep, he did. Good call. And he's got to look back. And again, I can't fault Parnell here because Guzman makes the turn. Now he's going back. You think he's going to go back?
No, it's here that he's got to throw it. When he starts breaking for the plate again, you see Wright screaming for the ball.
He slipped. He slipped on the way back.
Yeah, but then he broke for the plate again.
Oh, man.
That was his mistake. See, he goes back, he slips, but then he breaks for home again.
Oh, man.
David's waving his arms for the ball.
So, I guess we'll bring on the Dancing Bears next.
So Parnell missing first base. It goes as an infield hit for Cunningham to prolong the inning. The 4th hit of the inning against Bobby. Here's a Coors Light freeze cam.
And he missed. And did he tap? Yep, he's safe. Good call.
So 1st and 3rd and 2 out. Logan Forsythe, the batter. He's 1 for 4. And he takes a fastball off the plate for ball 1. Padres 8 runs and 12 hits. The Mets 4 runs and 13 hits. Mets have made 2 errors in this game. But they've also had some other mishaps. Tejada not sliding. Parnell missing the bag. Bell and Thatcher staying busy, so I guess if they score another run or 2, they'll not go to Bell. Here's a strike, 1 and 2.
Well, just another one of those innings for Parnell. You think that he's coming around, but when he has a bad inning, he has a bad one.
Here goes Cunningham. The throw by Tolley. Now the break from the plate by Guzman, and he is safe. A double steal for the Padres, and it's 9-4. The Mets threw, but the return throw too late to Guzman, who steals home.
Well, this ball club leads the National League in stolen bases, and they're offensively challenged, though not of late, the last week. But they're using everything they can to put runs on the board there.
Well, Harris has not played a lot of second base.
He's got to come
in front of the bag.
He's got to come in front and get that ball.
I mean, that was just a lapse on Willie's part to stay back on that ball, and that cost the Mets the run. So Guzman stole second, was fortunate to be safe at third, and then he steals home. So it's a 3-run 9th inning for the Padres to stretch the lead to 9-4. Parnell trying to wake up from this nightmare. 3-2 to Forsythe.
And this is not a good slide right here. You're going to come in feet first. If you come in feet first, you get there much quicker. You just kick the shin guard right out of the way with your lead spike.
Coors Light freeze cam.
You just risk a shoulder separation sliding like that with a catcher with shin guards.
Ball 4. And the nightmare continues. And the fans starting to get on Bobby Parnell, who's given up 4 hits and now a walk here in the 9th inning. So it was the Padres bullpen the first 2 games of this series that could not stifle the Mets. Now the shoe's on the other foot.
And Terry's going to say, hey, son, you're going to finish this inning.
Blake Teacotty up for the second time. Came up as a pinch hitter in the 8th and lined out to right. Cunningham now at second, Forsythe at first. 3 stolen bases in the inning for San Diego. Tico to the 8th man up in the inning.
So the Braves up 6-2. The Mets looking very close to falling 10 back in the wild card tonight.
T. Cody can't find that fastball, and it's 0-2.
T. Cody better dial it up a notch here. He's a little two in a row. Very late. Check his batteries.
The Yankees beat the Angels tonight 9-3, so the Yankees open up a 7-game lead in the wild card over the Angels. 2 more homers for Curtis Granderson. He has 31.
Amazing year.
31. He's got over 100 runs scored. He has over 90 RBIs. Now, how many would he have if he was playing in a different ballpark, like, say, this one?
Yeah, I agree. I would love to play with a DH too. Played over there. That made me a dead pull hitter. 2.
Well, he's had a fabulous year, Granderson.
Yes, we are not taking anything away from Curtis.
T. Cody takes a call, 3rd strike, and the inning finally comes to an end. Well, Bobby Parnell takes it on the chin in the top of the 9th, surrenders 3, and the Mets are down 5.
They're going to bring in that big cheeseburger.
Post game, the Giants lose Steve Smith. Who's Grossman? Do you know who Grossman is? Well, that's Rex Grossman. Quarterback?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he still playing?
The Bears, right?
Wow.
And we'll hear about Tiger Woods as well all on Geico Sports. They put these things up on the screen, and it's like, who? I remember Lee Grosscup. Remember him?
No, I don't.
Sportscaster. Anyway, Heath Bell will pitch the bottom of the 9th for San Diego in a non-save situation.
Well, Heath got lit up the first game. Blown save. 31 on the year, I believe. And he did not get his breaking ball over in that last outing. He hadn't pitched in 5 days, so he was rusty. Well, not rusty. Not to be confused with Rusty Staub.
Or Rusty Greer.
It's true. He is here just to get a little tune-up.
Or Rusty the homeless guy in Seinfeld. You remember the guy pulling the rickshaw?
Yes.
Stole it. David Wright 1 for 4, double to right center in the 5th inning. It'll be Wright, Duda, and Bay for the Mets in the bottom of the 9th. You know, wins and losses can be awfully capricious for starting pitchers. Case in point, the 2 starters tonight. At the end of this game, Aaron Harang has a 3.95 ERA. R.A. Dickey has a 3.75 ERA. Better.
And the records.
Harang will be 11-3. Dickey will be 5-11. Now, is that fair?
And Harang is pitching for a team that is far more offensively challenged, scoring runs than New York.
How do you figure?
But they say, Joaquin Andujar said, you never know. In baseball.
So why do we even bother keeping track?
That's what makes it so interesting.
Heath Bell, the 5th San Diego pitcher of the night. That's got a run off Luke Gregerson in the 8th. But he got a double play ball to get through the inning, and then the Padres adding 3 in the top of the 9th. Just when it looked like the Mets were about to come on back again. Now the 2-2. And the breaking ball off the plate. And Wright works the count full against Bell. Bounce to the left side. Bartlett on the backhand. And he throws out right by a stride, 1 away.
I just still think it's just one of the perfections of the game. The distance between the base paths after over a century of the game, it's still perfect. Geometrically perfect. I just find it so fascinating.
Duda's 0 for 4 tonight. And he takes ball 1 from Bell. And the breaking ball in for a strike. 1-1 to Duda. Jason Bay has another crack to extend his hitting streak. Started the night with an 11-game hitting streak, 0 for 3 in this game. And Duda takes a strike with a breaking ball, 1-2. By the way, watching Jesus Guzman steal home in the top of the inning reminds me that it was not the first time that San Diego had a steal of home this year. Remember that play against the Phillies earlier this year with Chris DeNorfia at third and Cliff Lee for the Phillies threw the ball to first, and DeNorfia broke for the plate and stole home that way. First time a lot of people had ever seen that. Loop to center, and that'll fall for a hit for Lucas Duda. So Duda has his first hit of the night, a pop fly single, and the Mets have a 1-out base runner in the 9th.
Well, starting innocently with a blooper.
3 more bloops and a blast, and you're even. So here's Bay, who's 0 for 3 and a walk. 1 out and 1 on in the last of the ninth. And Bay grounds one down to third. Backing off is Darnell. Throws to second and gets the force there as Forsythe stayed on the bag. And that's the second out. So the Mets are down to their final out of the night, and Mike Baxter will be the hitter. Baxter, in his first major league start, has acquitted himself quite nicely. 1 for 3 and a walk. Handled himself well in right field as well. Final game of this series, a 12 noon game tomorrow with Jonathan Neese on the mound. And then the Mets head to Arizona, where they'll jump right into the middle of a pennant race there. The Diamondbacks half a game behind the Giants starting plate tonight in the National League West.
And they're going to hit 2 of their best pitchers, are they not, Garrett?
Well, they'll face Ian Kennedy on Friday night. He's 14-3, and then Daniel Hudson on Saturday night. And Jason Marquis goes Sunday. Marquis got thrashed again last night. He's gotten hit hard in both his starts since going from Washington to Arizona. 2-0 to Baxter. And Mike takes it high, and now it's 3-0 with Josh Thole waiting on deck. Diamondbacks are up 3-0 on Houston tonight. That's in the second inning. Giants lost this afternoon, so if Arizona wins, they'll take over first place in the West. Baxter taking all the way, 3-1. So not exactly heavy lifting for Heath Bell here in the ninth, but not a quick inning either. He's already thrown 17 pitches. Another game starting 14 hours from now. Bay takes off, and it's outside ball 4, and the Mets have 2 men on. So a single by Duda, a walk to Baxter, and the Mets have 2 aboard, and Josh Thole will try and keep it moving. Tolley's had a big night, 3 for 4, 2 singles and a double. But the lefty Josh Spence came in the 7th inning with 2 out and 2 on to get Thole to fly out. Mets have had a number of threats tonight. They had the bases loaded and nobody out in the second. They didn't score. They had Tejada fail to score on a fly ball when he didn't slide in the 4th. They left 2 on in the 7th. They got the tying run to the plate in the 8th, but a double play took them out of that. Mets have left 10 runners on base. And Thole takes a breaking ball for a strike. So Josh with his 3 for 4 tonight, up to 266 on the year. Line the other way, and Tolley's got his 4th hit of the night. Bay will stop at third, and the Mets have the bases loaded. And the Mets need just 1 more base runner to get the tying run to the plate. So Thole is 4 for 5.
How about that? Fastball away. Hits it right where it's pitched. Something that Josh does very well.
So the Mets, with a huge hill to try and climb up here in the 9th inning, have 2 singles and a walk to load the bases. And Ruben Tejada, who walked with the bases loaded to force in the winning run last night, gets another bases loaded at bat tonight. He's 3 for 4, a single and 2 doubles. So the 7 and 8 hitters have been huge for the Mets tonight. This time Tejada goes after a first pitch fastball and fouls it off. The 4-hit game for Thole is his first this year, and the Mets 13th. Jose Reyes has had 4 4-hit games already this year. The only 5-hit game by a Met belongs to Ronnie Paulino. That was in his first game. Taken high, 1-1. Remember that? He came into Philadelphia and got 5 hits in his first game.
That was the game of the week, I believe, wasn't it?
Sunday night game, yeah. That was the night that we got Osama bin Laden. Same night.
Oh, that's right.
1-1 to Tejada with the bases loaded. And the breaking ball hit to second base. Forsythe knocks it down. Can't find it. And everybody's safe. Hayes scores. It's 9-5, and the Mets will get the tying run to the plate.
Logan Forsythe, with the 27th out in his hands, couldn't find the handle.
Got tight. And the beat goes on.
Well, the Mets were down 9-4 coming to the bottom of the ninth. They now will get the tying run to the plate. Heath Bell has given up 2 hits, a walk, and now had an error made behind him, and Willie Harris will be coming to bat. Harris came up as a pinch hitter in the 8th and singled in a run. Now he'll get his second turn at bat in this game.
Ari Dickey, who started the game and is on the hook, a very interested observer. So Bell, who came into a non-save situation, now has to save himself.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Wide, ball 1. If Harris can keep it going, Jason Pridey would be next. Baxter now at third. Tolley at second, and Tejada at first. Mets fighting to their dying breath again. Line drive, caught! Forsythe makes up for the error by snagging the line drive, and the ball game is over. The Padres hang on as the Mets get 1 in the bottom of the ninth and fall short tonight as the Padres win it 9-5.
Well, Mets never say die. Again, there's the nice left stab right there by Forsythe to end the ball game. And the Padres can kind of breathe a sigh of relief. The Mets out-hit the Pods 15-12, but the Mets also left 13 men on base.
And the Mets made just enough mistakes to make the difference in this game as Forsythe snags the liner after fumbling the ground ball and puts a close to a 9-5 San Diego win as the Mets have taken the first 2 and now the Padres take the third with the final game of the series tomorrow afternoon. Mets had 19 at-bats with runners in scoring position tonight. They went 6 for 19, but not quite enough as the Padres got enough insurance in the 9th inning to be able to hang on. There's your out-of-game summary as the Mets are back to 500 for the year. Big night for Will Venable. Josh Tolley had 4 hits for the Mets. San Diego wins it 9-5. We'll come back with more from Citi Field in just a moment.